When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, it's Andrew Cuomo. And you're listening to this fool like pasta fagioli, it's Chris Cuomo. And the garlic knot tells you you gotta stay inside and you listen. Did you see the video where Chris Cuomo was telling you how to beat coronavirus by breathing? Because Chris Cuomo had coronavirus, and he's like, a guy called me because, Chris Cuomo's a tough guy. I ain't going to let the virus beat me. I'm a fucking garlic knot. So Chris Cuomo, he's like, a pulmonologist called me and told me, he's like, Chris, you got that corona? You got to do it. You got to get up. The virus wants you in your bed. This guy's a tough guy. Couldn't handle the word Fredo. The virus wants you in your bed. You got to get up and breathe deep. It's literally, can we play that?
Yeah.
Get Chris Cuomo giving people advice on how to beat coronavirus by doing some weird chest yoga, which may help. I don't know. But I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe the pulmonologist is right. I just have a low opinion of the Cuomo family. He's like, you got to breathe. You got to get the virus wants you on your... Here we go.
This is it? Okay.
So here's what I've learned. Here's the secret to kicking this virus. It's
Here's
not
the
a pill or
secret.
a potion. It's about your will.
It's about your will.
Devotion.
And
The
devotion.
virus wants us to lay down.
The virus wants you to
virus
lay
wants us
down.
to take it.
Are you a fanook?
Other than the blessed few, the rest of us who get this are going to have an experience unlike anything else they've ever had. Days and waves. The old notion of get in bed and stay there when you get sick, it sounds great. And if you're really up against it, you need to do as little as possible. I
love that this is all written. Why can't anyone, like I do it all the time, why can't you just talk? Like, why can't he speak like he's reading something that's written clearly?
Right.
Why can't he just talk?
Because every speech is just prepared for him in public, right? So,
I mean, does he even have coronavirus? Like, are these people lying that, like, these celebrities that say they have it? Do they really have it? Some of these people on their Instagrams are like, man, it's been very hard for me. They do like this little cough. They're like, you're like, is this real? Did your agent call you and go, hey, you gotta come out that you got COVID-19? There are agents calling people right now going, here's the best move for you right now. Cough. Cough a lot on Instagram Live because people need to follow your COVID-19 journey. So listen, I'm going to play some of this because maybe Chris Cuomo's right. Okay, Bob Grant, who is a phenomenal conservative radio host. This is going to be a conservative show, everybody. We did a communist show last week. We're going to oscillate. We go fascist, communist every other week. Keep everybody happy, okay? I don't know who's going to win, but whatever boot is on your neck is the one I support. So, Bob Grant, whatever you think of his politics, sure, racist, whatever, but a great, radio guy, old-time radio guy. He used to go, get off my phone. And people would call him up. They'd be like, Bob, it's Tony from Seaside Heights. It was always Tony from Seaside Heights. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Bob, what do you think about? And they would just some bullshit, and he'd go, you know what, Tony? Can you do me a favor? You fake, phony fraud. That was his tag. He'd go, that was his, signature line. He'd go, you fake, phony fraud. Get off my phone. And he'd kick him off the phone. He used to call the Cuomo's father, Mario Cuomo, I think he called him son of Sfachim. Now, I don't know what that means. It's probably bad. But Bob Grant used to be like, son of Sfachim. R.I.P. Bob Grant. Bob Grant got kicked off WABC radio because when Ron Brown, a Clinton associate, was killed in a plane crash, that's a shock. Someone near the Clintons killed. Bob Grant said something like, the only good news coming out of this will be if we find that Ron Brown is dead, and he did die. And Bob Grant was kicked off. He was kicked off ABC, and then he went to WOR, and I used to make my grandmother listen to Bob Grant while she would drive me like to and from play practice and dance class. So that's how gay Republicans come to be. You go to dance class and you listen to Bob Grant and Rush Limbaugh on the way. All gay people, by the way, secretly Republican. That's true. All of them. Every single one of them. I'm joking about that. Somebody, by the way, you want to talk about rotted brains? Someone on Instagram accused me. This is great. They go, in your latest sketch, you say that you have a wife. And I'm like, the sketch is me playing a owner of like a developer who owns properties, and I'm evicting people. And he goes, well, don't you think that saying a wife instead of husband is like a little fucked up? And I'm like, the point of the sketch is that I'm a demon from hell, real estate developer, evicting nurses from the building and kicking people to the street. And this is how identity politics rots people's heads. He's like, yeah, but you said... So I'm like, so your problem is that the demon real estate developer isn't gay. You want him to be gay in the sketch that's on Instagram. That's what you want. Let's continue here with Chris Cuomo, who does not have coronavirus.
I know, but you can't stay there. Now I am wise to the beast and its ways. It changes. The fever is just softening.
By the way,
itself.
he means, the beast in his ways, he means Jews. That's what he means by that. And then they had to, you know what him and his brother say behind closed doors. You know they're small-minded sauce monkeys. You know they are. You know what they say? When they get a fucking bowl of sauce on the table and they take a couple of hunks of bread and dip it into the pot of sauce, you know they got a couple of choice words for who owns the media. That, again, I'm imagining that's what they do. I have no proof of that. That's something I'm imagining Chris and his Neanderthal brother do, because they're Neanderthals. You look at Andrew Cuomo's face, he's a Neanderthal. He's a Neanderthal, Andrew Cuomo. Chris Cuomo is a little, whatever.
And your body hurts, so you don't want to move your body because what it wants to do is get in your lungs. That's what it wants to do. I feel it constricting my chest. When I had that chest x-ray did, I saw that infiltrate right away. Now, I also have something else I haven't told you. I have a low IgM level, which is the primary.
I have something else I haven't told you. I have a low IQ. In fact, it was embarrassing for my family to find out how low it was. I'm basically functionally retarded. That's why I have to read a script right now instead of just talking to you like a normal person about my experiences with coronavirus. Right. I have to read a prepared statement because I'm genuinely on the border of mental retardation, and I have a television show. I genuinely have a television show and cannot process information like other people, so I have to have a prepared statement about my sickness.
Antibody. I've always had a low level, okay? It's not something recent. It could be genetic, it could be cultural, I don't know. But it makes me susceptible to things like bronchitis and crap like that. So there I was on Friday night, okay? I was not going to do the show tonight. I was done. I was in a pool of sweat. 12 hours later, I was in the same damn place. I hadn't slept a minute. I was just soaked and scared, honest to God. So then I get a call from a friend of a friend of a friend. Now, this keeps happening to me now. This new reality of how much people just care. I have this new network of not just sources, but really good people. And they all come this way, friend of a friend of a friend.
Do you think it's because your brothers... Do you think, Chris, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question here. Do you think some of that network is because your brother's the governor? Do you think that's a possibility? I don't know. Do you think that? I'm not sure. Do you think it's because you have a television show? Some people... He's like, I have this great network now of people that truly care about me. They really care. Keep going.
Battling this all over the country and the world, and people want to beat the beast. So this doctor calls me up, asks me about my symptoms. He's a pulmonary expert, and says, can you get up? I say, yeah, I can get up. He says, do it. He says, can you stretch your torso? I said, what do you mean?
How great would it be if this was somebody pranking Chris Cuomo? Like somebody just getting him to do like, how are you? Yes, this is Daniel Cohen. I'm a pulmonary expert at Langone. I'm just calling you. Can you get up right now? Can you stretch your torso? Can you do, the funky chicken dance? I want you to do that right now. And I know you're going to laugh, but I'm going to tell you right now, the funky chicken's movements open up the passageways in your lungs that get the virus out. So I want you to do that right now, and I want you to do it outside of your house because it's you need the fresh air. Can you do the Running Man? Can you do the Running Man right now? Can you? Let me tell you why. The Running Man increases circulation in such a way that the virus is less able to bind to your red blood cells. Can you do the Running Man right now? Can you put a video of you doing the Running Man on your Instagram account right now? Can you do that? Let me ask you another question. And this is going to seem, but you got to stick with me. I'm the head pulmonologist. Can you do blackface? Let me tell you why blackface helps. If you put blackface on your face, the virus gets scared because the virus is racist. You know the way Asians feel about blacks. The virus is very racist. So if you do blackface, the virus doesn't get in there. Do you see what I mean?
You want to keep going?
Yeah, we gotta.
Like this. I'm like, oh, God. It's like, yeah, no, it doesn't feel that good. He said, do it. He said, can you hold your breath for
pussy.
10 seconds? I said, probably not, to be honest.
Do it, you
He said,
pussy.
Do it.
Do it.
And then
Who is this?
He gave me the key.
Fucking loan shark.
He said he heard me say
Do
that
it.
I wanted to keep this out of my lungs. And
You
he said, I
better
saw
do
your
it.
x-rays. It's in your lungs. And you got the right fear and you got the wrong approach. You can't wait it out. He said, you have to fight. And not in some silly metaphorical way. This isn't about like channeling Rocky or Eye of the Tiger. You've got to do the things that will beat this virus. You've got to breathe deep when it hurts. And it hurts. I know it hurts. And I'm not trying to minimize anybody's pain. When you get a fever spike and that hurts, he said, you can't take confidence that it's going to go down. There are going to be spikes for at least 10 days when you get a fever. You got to layer up. You got to drink. You got to take
You know what's
Tylenol.
amazing about this virus, by the way? No, and we're done with him. But nobody has any clue at all what's going on. Like nobody has any
Not a clue.
Not a clue, right?
No.
Like fever for 10 days. Like what are we saying here? What are we talking about? What is going on? Nobody has a clue. Now they said you read something that says soap doesn't do anything. Ventilators make it worse.
Soap doesn't kill the coronavirus.
Yeah,
It's only alcohol.
ventilators make it worse. Soon they're gonna say hand sanitizer spreads it. Like what do we, hand sanitizer? You like
Yeah, you saw this too. Now it's saying 13 feet.
Well, these are scaremonger articles. These coronavirus found in air samples up to 13 feet away. None of that. They don't know if it's infectious particles or not. Like, listen, man, they found coronavirus on that cruise ship, the Diamond Princess, the Grand Princess, whatever it was. What was it called?
I think it was the Diamond Princess.
The Diamond Princess. I want to go on a cruise to the Diamond Princess. I want to go. Hal, you're going to love it. It's the Diamond Princess cruise. I wanted to go somewhere in Mexico, but nowhere scary. The Diamond Princess, only 17% of people on the boat contracted the virus, which means, and listen to me because I am a microbiologist, okay? I have a doctorate in biochemical engineering. I've worked, people know what I am. That material it's the RNA of the virus, the RNA, the ribonucleic acid, the RNA of the virus, not the infectious material. So it's not infectious after 17 days. They don't know if the particles in the air 13 feet away from you are infectious or not. They just don't know. No one knows. They keep saying fast food and shit's safe. So I went to Taco Bell the other day, and I'm even on the drive-thru. I'm like, this ain't safe. There's no way this is okay. They just want poor people to die. Everything poor people do is safe, by the way. They're like, yeah, drive-thrus are safe. Yeah, sucking a guy off on a bus is safe. Yeah, there's no risk in sucking a guy off on a bus. Listen, if that's how you make your money and we could send less of a stimulus out, that's safe. Yeah, hooking is safe. Yeah, selling your pussy on the street is absolutely safe for COVID-19. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, sell an illegal weapon. It doesn't, on guns is fine. It doesn't live on guns. Have at it. Doesn't live on guns. Have at it, animals. Have at it. We took sports away. The least we can give you is a little gunplay in the street to make up for it. You need to do something smart. They really are letting the poor die. They just don't give a shit. And when I'm like amazed. They're like, they can't say that Postmates, because by the way, Postmates it's all the same risk. We had fucking delivery tonight. There could have been Corona on the napkin. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows. It's all the same risk. You leave your house, it's a risk. It's just everything's a risk. I'm getting an antibody test to see if I had it. I want to know if I had it. And if I did not have it, I will throw a fit. This is what we're all going to do. Because, by the way, no one had it. Everyone's full of shit. I love these things. People are like, was anyone else sick in December? It was the sickest I'd ever been in December. It was late December, early January, and I was sick. Was anyone else sick like that? And yes, I was sick. I was sick too. You people get sick, you fucking morons. It's not COVID-19. Did anyone have a cough in late January? Was that it? No. Now, I was sick in early March, and I was coming back from Vancouver. And there are many Asians, a lovely, proud people, but many of them lived in Vancouver. I'm just saying that's what it is. So I'm thinking that perhaps I got the virus in Vancouver, and I brought it back here, and I think I had it in early March. I was diagnosed with strep, but then I had a cough for 3 weeks. I had a fever. It was bad. I was sweating. I had some little chills and whatever. It was not good. So I think I had COVID-19. I think I had corona. No, I don't know if I did. And what's going to happen is we're all going to take these antibody tests, and they're going to show that none of us had the coronavirus. And we're all going to flip out and say those tests aren't real and they're not effective. And that the person who gave it to us can fuck off because we know we had it. There are idiots out there that are like, I know I had it. I know for a fact I had it. I had every symptom of it. And then they start listing the symptoms. They're not at all coronavirus. Yeah. My stomach hurt. I stubbed my toe. It's like, no, that's not it. You goon. Guys, the Tim Dillon Show is always looking to make you comfortable, stylish, and safe. Here's a reality. Right now, it is so important to be able to have something that you carry on you that you can sanitize easily. And that is a Ridge wallet. Ridge wallet is the best. Why? What is it, Ben? It's, what's the thing? It's metal, right?
Yeah.
It's a minimal front pocket wallet that's designed to streamline what you carry every day. What kind of metal is it? Titanium?
Yeah, let's carbon fiber and titanium.
So it comes in titanium. Right. Carbon fiber, aluminum, titanium. Easily, dude, you put a little hand sanitizer on your hand, you sanitize the Ridge. Mm-hmm. Super easy. You got a big leather wallet. You can't really do that. It becomes a problem. Easily sanitized surfaces is the move right now. Mm-hmm. Okay? Especially with the outbreak of coronavirus. Okay? Ridge wallet's great. We all use them. I have it. Ben has it. 10% off today. Ridge.com/TIM. Ridge.com/TIM. Use the code TIM. Link in description. I'll tell you this, man. Other than the fact that it's a great wallet, it streamlines everything. You don't want these big wallets. It's easier. You carry some cash and cards. Boom. It forces you to be organized. It forces you to eliminate the bullshit you don't need in your life. I think the perfect Ridge wallet is a $100 bill to do cocaine with, your lawyer's card, your credit card, debit card, whatever, and a picture of somebody, where if you're really going to do something bad, you look at them and go, I shouldn't. That's a perfect Ridge setup. You don't really need much more than that. But also right now, man, it's so easy to sanitize. That becomes so important. You take a Lysol wipe to the Ridge, you're good. Mm-hmm. There's too many creaks and crevices in a big leather wallet. And people are going to be killed by having them. Because Corona's going to jump out of one of the compartments and fuck you in your face. Is that what you want? You want Corona to fuck your nose hole? No. So I would get Ridge. I have Ridge, but if I didn't have Ridge, I'd get Ridge. I'd kill my family to earn the money to get Ridge. I'll tell you that much if I had to. I don't give a shit. I'd cough on my grandma if it came down to it. I'd get the goddamn Ridge, though. It's got 30,000 five-star reviews. It's a better way to carry your cash and cards. I'd cut my best friend's throat if I could get a Ridge wallet. Swear to God, there's no oath I wouldn't break. I'd sell this country out for a Ridge wallet. I'd walk right into China with all our nuclear secrets. Sit in Shanghai with a Ridge wallet and watch them blast the shit out of us. Everybody I know and everything I know go up in a mushroom cloud, and I'm just sitting there with a Ridge wallet. I don't give a fuck. Not even more than one. Just one. I wouldn't even need more than one. You just need one. There's nothing I really wouldn't do for a Ridge wallet. Ridge wallet, yum. Red Robin, yum. Those are going to be the only restaurants that survive, like Red Robin.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, the good ones are going to go away, but the people that eat at Red Robin don't give a shit. They'll go right in there. They'll go right in there in a hospital gown. Discharged from the hospital, they'll walk right into Red Robin. They don't give a shit. Red Robin, yum. Ridge Wallet, yum. Do it, folks. Ridge Wallet is going to be very important in the fight against AIDS and coronavirus. Easy to sanitize. I'd get AIDS if I could get a Ridge Wallet. Not even HIV, full-blown AIDS. Inject me with a needle of full-blown AIDS right into my eyeball. Just give me a Ridge. You could blind me. I could be deaf, dumb, and blind. I just want to feel that Ridge, feel that cool titanium in my hand. Would you kill your fiance for a Ridge?
I mean, I already have one. You mean like if I didn't have one?
If you didn't have one, you know what I'm saying? Would you strangle your fiance for a Ridge?
I mean, no.
Why? Let me ask you, why not?
Because it's just a wallet. Like,
Ben's
you
a
know what I mean?
faggot. This is why Ben is not really successful in life. He can't commit to anything because he's a pussy. Okay, he's a pussy. She doesn't listen to this fucking show, by the way. She doesn't fucking listen to the show. She's listening to Tom Segura, who pays you zero money. So she should keep listening to that network that you've earned not $1 from. Anyway, ridge.com/Tim. Use code TIM. Buy the fucking wallet, okay? Enough already. I got from a friend, I got this hand sanitizer. It's a lavender hand sanitizer with a very high alcohol content. And when I spread it all over my hands, I breathe it in deep because it smells like gin. And I used to love Beefeater gin. I spent years in a pool of lukewarm Beefeater gin, Beefeater in and out martini, meaning you put the vermouth in the glass. And by the way, if you are a drinker out there, please enjoy this cocktail. And I'll tell you exactly how to do it. I don't usually give cocktail recommendations on the program because I am a degenerate alcoholic. So many people are disturbed when I do that. But take some vermouth, extra dry vermouth, you swirl it around the glass, you throw it out, in and out, in and out. The martini go right out there. Then you take the gin, you stir the fucking gin. You don't shake it like you're a 24-year-old fucking bartender in West Hollywood who's fucking shaking the gin and trying to see how many cocks she can fit in her so she can pay her rent. That ain't it. Okay? You're not shaking a fucking thing and bruising the goddamn gin, waiting for your fucking seeking arrangements date to pick you up and take you to his fucking house. Enough. You're stirring the gin. You stir it. Shaking it bruises it. It's a line from James Bond. It's absolutely true. And let me tell you right now, I threw my life away for this drink. I mean, I threw my life away for this drink. This studio's in an apartment in Hollywood. I am more talented than 90% of people that live in this city, and they all live in castles. So the reality is I am fucked, and it was because of this cocktail. I've not had a meaningful relationship in my life because of this cocktail. I have very few friends. And the ones I have that I've had for a very long time, I strongly dislike. I have no honesty with myself or others. I am a shell of a human being, genuine shell of a human being. I live to entertain people, to make them happy for nothing, for no reason. I barely enjoy that. It's just what I have to do. I'm built to do nothing else. I'm just a vector of negative energy that will either go into a heroin needle or go into a stupid joke. I tell it fucking, the giggle pig, which should be the name of a comedy club and isn't. Welcome to the Giggle Pig. Don't take out your phones. This is art. But what I'm saying is all of that happened. I should have came out of the closet earlier. I should have did the right thing. I should have went to college. I didn't do any of that. I was in subprime mortgages. I was dumb enough to sell the product to myself. I sold the house to myself. You're not supposed to get so drunk you scam yourself. I scammed myself. The Enron idiots weren't buying their own bad shit. So I did it all for this perfect drink. It is a perfect drink. And I'm glad I was an alcoholic. When I look back on the world, I'm glad I was family, friends, accomplishments. I know a lot of people with those, and I got to be honest with you, truly. It's truly a whatever. Your kids are shit half the time. They take advantage of you. They don't value the sacrifices you made for them. Your wife or husband doesn't really care. And your career, you hit a wall with that, and no one really gives a shit. Truly, no one cares. I just watched a documentary about a bunch of comedians that came out of New York City and the alt scene and everything, and some of them are funny and some of them aren't. But the point is, truly, no one cares. No one cares. No one cares. They care about David Dobrik, and they're not going to care about him soon. They won't care about him soon. They'll care about something that just makes sounds and beeps. They'll go, beep, beep. The entertainer your kids like the most will be somebody that goes, beep, beep, beep. So it's over, and nothing matters. So you take the vermouth, you swirl it around in the glass, you spill it out, and then you put the gin, which should be... And this is another great line, which isn't mine. I don't know who wrote this. Vodka goes down too easy. Gin drinkers like to know what you're up against. That's why I didn't like Bombay Sapphire. It's too smooth. I like Beefeater. I like a little punch. Mm-hmm. I like a little punch in the back of the throat of juniper berry and botanical and lavender. I like to feel where I'm going. Because listen, gin martinis take you to the moon. Martinis are like breasts. 1 is not enough. 2 is all right. 3 is too many. 4 is a party. I didn't do that either. That's something else. I don't know. A guy told me that named Huey. He's dead. The point is this. He had a lot of great... He said one other thing that I laughed so hard it wasn't his, but he remembered it. He goes, he said this at dinner. He goes, she broke my heart, so I broke her jaw. Again, I don't know where he got it. It's probably a famous thing. It's very funny. Anyway. What was I saying?
You were just describing...
Yeah, so the drink.
It takes you to the moon.
It takes you to the moon. You get fucked up. When you get banged up on martinis, you get banged the fuck up. You do not... it's a boom. It's no work. Like you're at work the next day with a pounding headache. It's a real hangover. You got to do a couple of Percocet in the morning or a couple of Vicodin with that fucking Starbucks latte and that Newport or Marlboro Menthol Light or Marlboro Light or Marlboro Red or Parliament. You get the idea. Or vape. The point is, and I've smoked all those cigarettes. That's why I went through them. Yeah. The point is... I used to smoke Basic unfiltered.
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid. I was 13 years old. Me and my friend Shay got a pack of Basic unfiltered. We got a pack one day of Benson and Hedges. We used to just buy different types of cigarettes. L&M, Liggett and Myers. What about a good documentary about cigarettes? Not about how fucked up they are. About the tradition of tobacco, which did probably have to do. That's gets into slaves, but not that. I mean, a recent, what were all the cigarette companies? And I'm interested in that. I want to know about that. I'm going to die one day because of them. I want to know more about them. Not just a rat documentary like Rat Leah Remini, who's, everybody hates Scientology now that they're millionaires, but they didn't hate it. They didn't mind torturing the kids when it was getting them all the opportunities. I see you rats. You're all full of shit. Okay? You don't do something for 30 fucking years and then decide it's not for you. Shut the fuck up. Go out like the fucking mafia and suck David Miscavige's dick. All right. Anyway, the drink. This is my point here. I keep getting away from this. But the drink, you put the vermouth in, put the gin. No olives. Olives are for women. My boss told me that. My boss who's guy named Tim that I worked for in mortgages had a scar across his face. I said, how'd you get that? He goes, I was thrown out of a car at 4 years old through the windshield. I said, that's crazy. He goes, yeah. He goes, it taught me about responsibility. No one knew what that meant. No one asked him. But he said olives are for women. It's a great point. If you have a blue cheese stuffed olive in your mouth, you're a woman. That's it. Or you're gay. I guess we could say that. But even gay guys predominantly are probably, I don't know. I don't know that they're martini people. Martinis are for people that want to go to the moon. They want to go to the moon with a drink or two. They don't have time to sit there for the whole, they need to be fucked up by the appetizer. Mm-hmm. I needed to be in the bag by the appetizer. If bruschetta or tuna tartare hit the table and I wasn't in the bag, we had a problem. I needed to have that gin glow on my face, that heat on my face before the appetizer hit the table. So it's very important that you make the drink the right way. Just lukewarm gin in a martini glass. You can even, I didn't have vermouth sometimes. I just do it with the gin. Mm-hmm. It's nice if you have a martini shaker. You could do it in a milk glass, big bar glass, water glass. You can do that. A little stir. It's here's the thing, folks, and a lot of people won't tell you this. It is classy to throw your life away drinking certain drinks. Martinis, Kettle on the Rocks, whiskey, bourbon, scotch. They're nice. Something nice about throwing your life away like that. Not beer. That's low rent. But like a liquor alcoholic, I always say good for him. That's somebody that knows where they're going and desperately wants to get there as quickly as possible. When you were boozing it up, you drank beer, right?
Light beer. That's
light beer. I mean, how can you even be proud of that? But you didn't even have a good. What did you drink from college to what? You were till what? Till
like 19 to like 25.
Yeah. I would say that was me too. I think I was like 19 to 25 because I was drugs from 13 to 20, and of course from 20 to 25 as well. But I got into booze when I was done with all the other drugs.
Yeah.
When I quit everything else, I moved into booze. I graduated to booze. The good old Kettle One on the rocks with a black fly in the glass from the good old bartenders at Lisa's Lounge. But that's what I mean. I threw my entire life away for that drink, and I don't regret it either. It was a great, there's nothing better than a Sunday afternoon getting shit-faced and going to sleep in your car.
Yeah.
Getting really, there was a place called Churchill's in Rockville Center, and I was asked to leave twice because I think one of the women in Churchill's, I was drunk, and it was 11 a.m., and I was telling my table of people how important it was that we continued to support the people of Iraq by sending more troops and money. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs and yelling. And a woman started screaming at me from across the, you don't know what you're talking about. And I was screaming and I was drunk. I think I called her a terrorist. And I was asked to leave. I was really raring to go. I believed in the Bush administration. And then I stopped doing cocaine and drinking. And then I was like, wow. Whew. It's amazing what happens when you start looking at things through the lens of somebody that's, not doing cocaine and drinking daily. You do get a better idea of what's going on in the world. I mean, I used to go nuts. Like, I used to get coked out of my face, put a bunch of friends in my Suburban, drive around really wealthy areas in Long Island and point to the houses and go, they deserve this money. They deserve it. They're better than we are. Screaming, sweating, screaming. And my friends would be like, yeah. Back of the car, they were terrified. They're like, are we going to die? What's wrong with this guy? I'd be like, they deserve it. Don't take their money, make your own money. And then sometimes the car would run out of gas, like in the middle of those, because I hadn't put gas in it. I would just stand outside of the car screaming, just smoking cigarettes and screaming. Like when I say I completely destroyed my life, I mean, I'm sure, there's elements of it that are fun. But, I should have just vlogged. That's what I should have done. I should have vlogged. Everything I like about the world is live. Other than this podcast, everything I like is stand up and, whatever, music, theater, all that shit. It's all live. It's in a stage. It's real. Things can go wrong. Vlogging's edited, and that's the generation we live in. We live now in the time of editing, and everything you put out there, for the most part, a lot of these guys, and some of them are really talented at the way they do this. And editing is certainly a talent. It's a skill. Some would say it's an art form. They'd be, whatever. But that's what we are. We're living in we're living in a time of editing, and everybody's edited. And what I always was drawn to was live, unedited shit that was raw, and it was right in front of you. And if it fucking sucked, it sucked. And if it was great, it was great. And if it was somewhere in the middle, which it usually was, it was somewhere in the middle. And maybe it had moments of brilliance, and maybe it didn't, and maybe it dipped at the end and you were bored. But it wasn't ever, you couldn't duplicate it. You couldn't play it back. You couldn't show your friend unless they were standing next to you. There was something cool about that. That's why I've always liked restaurants, and it's why I like comedy shows. I like things that even though there's a level of consistency, it's one and done. Like, it's just, we had a great dinner, and then we went back 3 nights, and it was sucked. And then you're like, what, was it even good? You see a comic destroy, then you see him the next time with the same jokes, and it doesn't work, and you're like, wait a minute, that magic was gone. Was it the audience? Was it him? Was it her? What was it, So that's what we're moving away from. We're moving into this world where everything is edited, and everybody's going to be able to release the parts of themselves, that they think are the best. And it's going to suck. I'm a little depressed about, how tough it's going to be for live performance. Let's read an ad here. We're going to read it in real time. The Tim Dillon Show is brought to you by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill and Melinda Gates. We stick a needle in the third world and see what happens. Now, many of you are angry that Bill and Melinda have sponsored the show. You've accused me of shilling for them. They did buy ads. They did commit to ads. Bill and Melinda Gates are going all over the third world, sticking needles in children and seeing how they react. And that's heroic. I think it's heroic. They are weird, aren't they, those two? They are a little off. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I think we need vaccinations. But, the reality is I don't research these companies that make vaccinations, and I don't know what Bill and Melinda are up to. I'm always very suspicious when they go, well, we're billionaires, but now we want to save the world. And it's like, okay. And listen, maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know anything about I don't know much about them, I know they're doing some fucked up shit in the third world, like the things they're doing. And I guess their attitude is, well, these kids are going to die anyway. So I don't know, but I'm very scared. Listen, the way that people are looking at conspiracies now, the problem is everybody's like, they're trying to surveil me and everything. It's like listen, folks. I want to break this to you in a way that you've got nothing left. Like you don't have anything left here. Nobody's everybody's like, the new thing is like TikTok. Like David Hogg is like, we got to ban TikTok because it's a Chinese national security weapon, because the Chinese, they have all that access to, all these kids, they have access to everything. They have all that data of the kid. What, China invested all of that in TikTok to prove what? Our kids are retards? You tell me we couldn't have emailed China and said that? Yeah, our kids are sociopaths that dance around. Doesn't matter what's happening. We could light the world on fire. They literally dance. I mean, that's the big... What is this surveillance? Where are you... listen, I'm not saying... You should have been concerned about surveillance years and years and years and years ago. This isn't new. Remember how none of you gave a fuck because Osama bin Laden was going to come down the chimney and cut all your throats? And now everybody's concerned about surveillance. It's been surveilling. It's been reading. They've been doing everything. You didn't care till a fucking month ago. You just didn't care. So it's Monday morning quarterbacking the whole thing. You're not going to win. The government in this country, if you ever pose a serious threat to them, they're going to vaporize you in some manner. Your car goes into a tree. Mm-hmm. They leak a bunch of info on you. They audit you a bunch. They will break your spirit or they'll break your head. Mm-hmm. That's just what happens if you get to be a big enough threat. This is not to defend any of the new surveillance measures. This is not to say you shouldn't be vigilant. This is not to say you shouldn't pay attention to what's going on. But this is to make you honestly understand that everybody in this country acts like they woke up and learned about everything today. Everybody acts like it just dawned on them that things are fucked this minute. Where have you been? Where were you? Where were you when this was going on through Obama, before Obama, during Bush? Where were you then? I just don't understand. I understand, there's nothing to take here. They don't care about your lives as much as you think they do. They just want you to work and earn money, and they don't want you to have health insurance, and they don't want you to be able to have the money to challenge them, and they don't want you to have the type of democratic representation that you should have. That's why they fucking gerrymander and fuck up the districts all the goddamn time. They'd rather you not vote. They don't want you to do any of that. This is all a problem, by the way. I'm not saying none of it's a problem, but like this idea that like they're spying on me. It's like, yeah, it's an issue, and they're spying on you because they want to sell you more crap for the most part. They want to sell your data to people so they can sell you more shit, so they can find out the best way to market a pizza right down your throat. If they could drone pizzas down your throat, that's what a lot of it is. And yes, if you start kicking up dust and challenging the status quo, which none of you do anyway, but if you were to do that, like Mr. Michael Hastings, then you meet the tree. You meet Mr. Tree. So that's what it is. I'm not trying to be blackpilling. I don't want to be dispiriting here, but this panic, everyone's at level 12 panic about everything, but nobody cared. They're going to vaccinate us all. Yeah, probably going to be a vaccination for this. We probably need it. They're going to put chips in us. That's a problem. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. That's a bad road to go down. But again, it's, they might not put a chip in you. They might not care. They don't need to. They don't need to put a chip in you to control you. They're already kind of controlling you. All the things that you think you're not going to be allowed to do, you'll probably be allowed to do them. You're going to be allowed to go out to the Buffalo Hut and order the fire. You're going to be able to go out and go to the fried chicken and grenade stand that you like. You're going to be able to do that. But if you try to like unionize, you try to get some fucking money or self-respect, or try to say, hey, I don't want to come in today, I've got corona, they're going to say, fuck you, get in here and die on the factory floor. That they're going to do. So be a little more concerned about. Nobody's concerned about any of that, by the way. Nobody cares about any of that. It's all about Satan, and it's an ancient religious war. And no, it's not. When you really figure out what it is, it's the ultimate black pill. Because it's not Satan and fucking what you people think. It's trade routes. When you figure out the whole thing, the blackmail, the nightmares, the murder, it's all to protect ports and trade routes and ways to get oil to the Caspian Sea and ways to protect interests of very wealthy people. It's the ultimate black pill. You're doing all this so that billionaires can be trillionaires. That's it. It's not because it's some blood oath, some ancient religion. Please tell me it's at least that. Please, wait a minute. You're not even a lizard? We're the same species and you're treating me like this? It's even worse. I wish they were lizards. It would make you feel better. You'd at least get to go to bed and go, oh, they're lizards. No, they're the same species, and they still don't give a fuck. They've got the same blood in their veins. They're not, when I say they're lizards from another planet, it's a joke. It's scarier that they're from this planet, and they don't give a fuck about you. And all the shit they do, the skull and bones, the shit, all the weird stuff. Yes, they're morbid fucking people. Yes, they're a cult. Yes, blah, blah, blah. But what drives it? What drives the secret groups and what drives the secrecy and the bonding and the blackmail is money. It's the ability to earn money and to have nobody get in the way of them earning money. Listen, so when the conspiracy talk gets going, I'm with you. I just don't want to hear about time machines. I don't want to hear about QAnon. I don't want to hear about Donald Trump be given a time machine. I don't want to hear JFK Jr. still alive. Tell me something normal. Tell me the government blew up the federal building in Oklahoma. That's something I'll discuss over brunch when we're allowed to have it. Tell me about 9/11. Talk to me about, the Boston Marathon bombing. And by the way, Ray Kump brought up a great point today. He said, no shootings. None of these kids are shooting anybody with COVID-19. You start to wonder if some of these school shootings are not as random as they appear. Because nobody's gone into a farmer's market with a gun. And don't go do that now that I've said it. But the point is that when you start thinking about it, and I'm not saying the school shootings are fake or staged. What I'm saying is that it is interesting. It's just there hasn't been any random acts of violence since this. There hasn't been any of that. That's kind of gone, they canceled that too, I guess.
Right. We're like day 31 and just nothing.
Nothing. Interesting. Maybe these random acts of violence we all experience aren't so random. I told you it was going to be a conservative show today. I told you that early on. And that might meant that today was not the episode for you. But what I'm saying is that I know there's occult people out there. I'm not saying there aren't. Trust me. I'm well aware of it. I know more about it than you. I've had more people. I've had real conversations. If you join the Patreon, you took to Nick Bryant, he'll fucking scare the shit out of you. And he scared the shit out of me with that episode. And it was fucking wild. Read about the Finders. Read about the shit they're into. No, the FBI said that actually the Finders weren't up. Well, you shut up. The FBI said. If you ever start a sense what the FBI said and it's not a complete joke, I have no respect for you. Well, the FBI did that. The FBI. People are murderers. The FBI. So, yeah, go read about that stuff. But then just don't fucking come out the other way telling me that, Tom Hanks is running a global. And I don't know anything about him. He seems sweet, but a lot of people. So did Harvey Weinstein. He seemed like a big teddy bear. Because he is. No, I don't know these people. You don't know any of these people. You can't say what they're into or what they're not into. Or I don't go to these parties. I don't know these people. It is what it is, Living with chronic pain is the worst. It's more than a feeling of discomfort. It can affect your whole life. Many of my listeners probably have some type of pain that has prevented them from relaxing and sleeping. Much of it is internal, isn't it, guys? But some of it is external. Maybe you can't exercise because of your pain. Podcast host to provide experience of recent pain. I do get lower back pain. Enter Omax Health. If you're looking to get rid of nagging muscle and joint pain immediately while providing long-lasting recovery, then you need to try the natural breakthrough pain relief solution, Cryo-Free CBD Roll-On, developed by Omax Health. And I have tried this, and I do like it. It's non-prescription. It's a triple-action pain relief roll-on, and it's specially formulated to block pain receptors, reduce inflammation, and improve muscle and joint flexibility. It's 100% natural CBD-powered remedy works. It's magic within 10 minutes of application, and it lasts about 8 hours. It's a better version of a like a Salonpas or a what's the other thing? What's the other thing you put on your back? Like it's like a Icy Freeze or Icy Hot.
Icy Hot. Yeah.
Yeah, or Salonpas is one of them.
This is like that a little bit. I've been using this.
This is a better version of it, I think. Because I've used those other ones too, and listen, they're going to give you 20% off. If you have this, you want to try it out. If you enjoy the show, it's a great way to support the show and relieve some pain. Cryo-Free CBD pain relief roll-on plus free shipping. This discount also applies towards any product site-wide. Just go to omaxhealth.com today and enter code TIM. omaxhealth.com today and enter code TIM. That's omaxhealth.com. Enter code TIM to get 20% off Cryo-Freeze and site-wide. So we've got other things as well. Still not sold? I can tell you pro athletes such as PGA pro golfer Kyle Stanley uses Cryo-Freeze CBD to recover both on and off the course. Go look at the product reviews, 95% 5-star review. It's not a bullshit product. This is actually good, and it works. If you have the pain, if you have a problem, lower back, joint pain, muscles, things like that, this is an easy fix. It's an easy fix. You know, if you're like me, you're an ex-addict and you don't want to take CBD another way, this is a great way to just put it on the part of you that hurts, and it works its magic. It's an anti-inflammatory. It really works fucking 10 times better than a leave and shit like that, and those are not good anyway because this is all natural. One of the reasons coronavirus is ravaging our country is we have very bad immune health here because we're in love with over-the-counter drugs. They make billions and billions of dollars slinging us Dayquil and all this horse shit that barely works, right? You take it, it barely makes you feel better. It prolongs coughs and colds for the most part. You could just get rid of it if your immune system was stronger. It's the reality. So what's great about these CBD cryo-freeze things is that you can put them on. They're an anti-inflammatory, but they're also all natural. You know, there's no dependence. You don't develop any type of, addiction to it. It just gets rid of pain, and it makes a lot of sense. So that's omaxhealth.com. Enter code TIM to get 20% off Cryo Freeze and site-wide. So if there's other stuff that interests you on there too, you're going to get 20% off if you use promo code TIM, omaxhealth.com. We're going to try to get Alex Jones on the show. I want him to talk about what's going on right now. And I don't care if you'd like it or not. I want to have Roseanne on the program to have her talk about what's going on right now. I'd like to get Chris Hedges on the show. I want to get all of these people on the show. I don't care that, my biggest disappointment with some of the people that listen to this show is when I talk to someone you disagree with, you can't handle it. You're like, that's stupid. You shouldn't do that. Or when I talk to somebody that you find dangerous. It's like, listen, man, quarantine's going to end. We're going to have to go back to work. NBC, pull up Drudge. NBC's already, these big companies are starting to figure out how to get people back to work. Okay? Fear of second wave in summer. Cities begin canceling 4th of July events. Feds cover up nursing home deaths. Testing botched. Nursing home deaths had nothing to do with coronavirus. Just people in nursing homes bludgeoned.
Right.
That's what I mean. Like, everybody's like, China lied about the amount of deaths. I'm like, wait, America's going to be like, hold my beer.
Right.
Wait till we start burning down nursing homes. That's odd. Remember when China collapsed that hotel? Beverly Hills orders face mask worn in public. Well, that's where I walk around every day. I wear them in public.
You're wearing it now when you go out?
I'm wearing it. Yeah, I did it today. Come down here. It's come to this. If you want to go for a walk in Beverly Hills or do anything else outdoors in that city, you're going to have to cover your face. City officials have decreed that everyone must sport some type of face covering when they leave their homes. See, this is when I would love to be able to start a business immediately and have the infrastructure to start making like bedazzled masks.
Yeah.
Because you would make a couple of mil selling kind of fun, crazy face masks.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit. I wish I could snap my fingers and then have that infrastructure. Beverly Hills Mayor Lester Friedman, that's the name of the pimp in Casino, right?
Is that true?
Yeah. Sharon Stone's boyfriend in Casino, Lester Friedman. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I guarantee you it's Lester Diamond. Is it Lester Diamond?
Shit, hold on.
It's Lester Diamond, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that sucks. I thought it was Lester Friedman. I don't know. But the mayor of Beverly Hills, Lester Diamond, the mayor of Beverly Hills says you got to have a mask on to walk around Beverly Hills. What happens if you don't have a mask, by the way?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
What are they going to do? They probably cite you. You probably get a little ticket.
Well, you notice it doesn't say law. It says it's a rule.
It's a rule. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore, folks. I'm getting a little tired of this. I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired of the scientific community not knowing anything. And I think I want them to open. Stop feeding the media all this info if you don't know anything. Someone the media is starting to fucking get out of control now. They're scaring everybody. It's true. Conservative show today. But I'm dead serious. I'm sick of it. Yeah, fuck Trump too. He's fucked up. He's not doing anything right for anybody. But the media is like, the coronavirus lives in your ass. It's like, stop. I'm trying to sleep. Coronavirus can come in and fuck you in your mouth at night. It's like, how about no? Where are the scientists? They don't fucking know anything. Turn it off. Turn the internet off. Italy extends lockdown despite business pressure. Dude, Italy, remember in the beginning, Italy was singing to each other on their balconies, and now they are stealing food because they're desperate and hungry. And this is the future of America. And I'm telling you right now, I don't want anybody to get sick, and I understand why we had to do this. But we got to figure out a way to start opening the economies back, because not where poor, vulnerable people get killed, because that's what's happening now. But we got to figure out a way, whether it's, testing, mitigation, to begin, because this thing will spiral out of control very quickly without even the idea. We needed the idea that we're going to come back. Even if it's not the reality in the near term, we need the idea that we're going to come back. Which is why they were talking. Several big companies are like, listen, we're going to have people come in, try to find that. NBC, companies, big companies thinking about how they're going to bring people back to work, how they're going to bring their workforce back. Here's the thing, guys. Until schools are in session, there is no way right there. Until schools are in session, we're not going to be back in business, because people need to watch their kids. So the reality is you need to put the fucking kids in school before people can go back to anything that seems like normalcy. So here's what they're doing, okay? They're saying this. They're basically saying that they're going to try to start to bring people back. A lot of companies are going to start to bring people back in early May. Chrysler, Tesla, both saying they begin production again on May 4th. These are factories, and they're going to take some, as many precautions and steps as they need to. Some things, and this is great, interesting, they said for some things, demand will snap back immediately. Dentists, healthcare, barbershops. There's a backlog of demand. People need haircuts. They need appointments at a dentist, healthcare. So those are things that immediately people are going to need to do. Restaurants and bars, people might want to go. They're all cooped up. They might want to go out if they're open. Are people going to start buying new cars and new homes? That's going to be a bit. Take a beat on that. That's going to be a little bit of an issue. People are not going to be making big purchases immediately. Okay? If they can help it. It's going to be a gradual process. This is the article here. All right, any return to work will be a gradual process rather than setting a national go back to the office day. Still, many companies are ready in a hurry to get employees back to work. Well, they don't care. They don't care if people die. That's the other problem. These companies don't give a fuck. Goldman Sachs is going to build like an infrared. They're going to get infrared technology to see if you have a fever. But you can also be asymptomatic for 14 days without a fever. So childcare is the big one. One major limitation of any reopening will be childcare. Where are you going to put these kids? Now your kids are home. They're stealing your heroin and they're stealing your bullets and your gun. They got to go back to school. These kids are little demons. They're on the dark web. Fucking trying to figure out the best route. As soon as school opens up, they're trying to figure out the best route through the back with the AK. You got to get them out of your fucking house. Little TikTok monsters. I can't wait till the governors, like the retards in the middle of the country, because a lot of them are retarded, start just letting people out and just it'll be a bloodbath. Yeah. Or maybe not. We don't know. What's that guy, Tate Reeves in Mississippi? What's the Mississippi governor's name? He's my favorite, Tate Reeves. Yeah, he's like a character. Can we play some Tate Reeves?
Okay, hold on.
He's like a character. Listen, Mississippi, by the way, is one of the fattest states in the country. Oh. Mississippi, by the way, is just look at you can't see this. Everybody, I wish we had the switcher, which is back ordered. I wish we could show you this. Here's my big issue now. I'm going to be very honest with everybody. When did the sign language people start losing their minds? Dude, the sign language people have become so distracting that people with ears cannot listen because they've become so extra. Have you ever seen a fucking sign language? They're like this. They're like. It's like, what the fuck's going on? What kind of theatrical sign language is this? Like, this is their, every sign language interpreter looks like this is their moment. Like, they're going to get picked up. They're going to get discovered while they're doing sign language next to the Mississippi governor. Calm it the fuck down. Some of us still have ears and we're trying to pay attention, and you're dancing in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and it's distracting. Yeah. You literally look like you're having a full-scale seizure on this. What is this? How many deaf people are there that we need to have this? Me and Ray were talking about this. The deaf are really tough. The blind are lovely because they're more vulnerable, but the deaf are very nasty people for the most part. That's the reality. You know, okay, you like Marley Matlin, fine. The deaf are an issue. And I have sympathy for them, but I'm saying enough with the sign language people that have lost their fucking minds. They're preventing people from getting the information because people are like, what is wrong with that person? What is wrong? I mean, the guy here, and we're going to show you this because this will be the clip from the show, but that this guy, never in my life have I seen anything like what I'm looking at right now.
I'll screenshot this and throw this on the screen.
Yeah, you have to see this because this is completely out of control. And by the way, it's not only him, it's whether it's de Blasio, whether it's Cuomo, every sign language interpreter is going crazy. They are signing so big, it is wild. And it is incredibly it throws you off. Your eyes travel to the sign language person, and you're like, what is that even sign language?
Does Trump have one?
I don't know. He might. He probably does.
Yeah.
Let's hear what Tate Reeves has to say.
I mean, he looks...
I personally wouldn't hold one if I was a pastor. But I don't think what was happening on this Sunday, based on what I've seen, is in violation of my original order. I've been clear that no American government has the right to threaten to lock someone up for practicing their faith. That is not legal, and it is not right. In Mississippi, churches are protected from over-the-top actions like these. That is spelled out in our executive order. I've said many, many times, and I'm going to say it again. This
sign language guy looks homeless. I mean, this sign language guy looks like he has coronavirus. And he looks like he's signing on he's got this weird black shirt. The only other person I've seen wear that is the great Ray Kump.
Yeah.
You know, it's the only other person that wears a black shirt is Ray Kump, this guy in Lounge Singers, that wear like a black, weird type of shirt like this. It's like a weird... Dude, Tate Reeves he's like, hey, Tate Reeves, I've been clear. No government can put people in jail for worshiping their faith, worshiping their God, which I agree. Hey, Tate, I agree with you. But I also think we got to be a little, keep playing Tate Reeves, please. I'm going to get a job working for him.
And I will admit, it pains me to do so. But I do not think anyone should attend gatherings of any type, including church services with more than 10 people there.
Tate.
But this is still America. We still hold our religious liberties dear. I'll be happy to answer questions about that, but I want to make clear for all local officials who are wondering as we enter the second week of shelter in place and Easter Sunday, Mississippi is not a state that uses government threats to shut down churches. I personally plan to worship from home on Sunday with my family. We never missed Easter service before, and we won't miss the chance to worship in our home. I hope all Mississippians will celebrate responsibly and take precautions to stay safe. Stay home if you can. Worship from home. Please use common sense. Be smart. Look out for your loved ones.
Tate,
I want you to know today also that we have taken some
Tate
additional...
really impressed me. I wanted to shit on Tate. Tate did a pretty good job. This sign language guy's a guy Tate Reeves hit with his car years ago, and he's like, I'll give you a job. He's like, stay home. I know many of y'all, You want to go out, want to get baptized. Easter, by the way, always kind of sucked as a holiday.
Yeah.
It always sucks. You get a nice honey-baked ham, or my family, we did it with a vinegar mustard glaze, whatever. You can do some lamb. Maybe you do a nice herb-crusted rack of lamb. Maybe a nice Chateaubriand. You don't do a casserole on Easter. You don't do pasta. Jesus Christ is coming back, you fucking animal. You do meat. You don't do fish. It's a roast. You don't do vegetarians. You don't do vegans. You do a roast of meat. You kill an animal, or you buy an animal that's already been killed. And that's what you do. That's the Easter meal. You do au gratin potatoes. If you can, they are the best Easter potatoes. Au gratin potatoes represent the spring. Chocolate should be only for the bunny. You should do spring pastries, pastry creams, glazed fruit. It's the return of lighter desserts, but still kind of heavy because we're not quite in the summer. So we're not doing like sorbet and shit like that. That's if you're, can't really have an event this year. Usually I try to give advice for people that are trying to have events, that are trying to escape the drudgery and dreariness of their horrific lives. So I tell them what to cook and what to drink. But they can't do that this year. They have to just live in the horror that they've built for themselves. This quarantine really makes you think. It makes you realize that the most important thing in the world is to have a lot of money. Lots and lots and lots of money. Love is meaningless, and your family and your friends in many cases are obstacles to truly what you can do. You have to throw those people away as quickly as possible. Push them in front of trains, push them out the window of a high-rise apartment building, smother them with pillows in your sleep. They want you to fail. They don't want you to do better than they did. This means your parents and everyone near you. You have to get away from them. You should only keep friends for 24 months. At that point, you've gotten everything you can from them, and you should throw them away. Act like you don't know who they are. Push them in front of a train, out of a high-rise apartment building, smother them in their sleep, throw a hairdryer in the tub. Doesn't matter. Whether those are metaphorical suggestions or real ones is up to you to decide. You need to be a stick and move hustler. Keep going. Keep fighting. Don't get stuck in a bad situation, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, or whether it's a family unit. Nothing matters. Get away from these people. Trust me. They're trying to kill you. You just don't see it. Don't fall for hucksters like the Gary V's of the world. They tell you that you're going to start your business and you're going to be this brilliant, innovative person. Don't do that. Get a simple job and steal. Get a simple job and learn the way around it. Learn how to steal. Stealing is so important. Steal. Take. Pad your pocket with the extras. Find a way to circumvent the system. Little crimes are very important when it comes to survival. These are things you're all going to need to learn how to do, okay? Even if it's just stealing ketchup. One day it's ketchup, next day it's someone's pension. Be smart. Play the long game. If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have gone near comedy, this circus tent freak show. I would have been in good shape. I would have stayed thin, and I would have done like, what Matt Damon did in Talented Mr. Ripley. I would have just stolen someone's identity, murdered them, and tried to become them. That is also a great strategy for success. Murder someone and become them. You don't hear that often. You don't hear that. You usually hear go to grad school. That's not helping. If you want big gains, you have to take big risks. Okay? Get comfortable with death. Murder, extortion, blackmail, violence, corruption, betrayal. These are all things that you'll need to get very comfortable at to succeed in America. Imagine a priest giving this Easter sermon to people. Wouldn't it be great if a priest was giving this sermon? It's like a bunch of ladies with big hats. They're all nodding.
Like fanning themselves.
Yeah, they're fanning themselves in a big Southern church. He's like, the first thing y'all need to do is understand that you got to apply pressure to the right people. understand that secrets are power and leverage is necessary to get what you want. And all the ladies are like, yes, praise Jesus. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. What's a joke and what's not, it's up to you to decipher, folks. It's really not my business. I just offer you what I can offer you. And I'm just telling you that the quarantine makes you think about things. How truly blessed we are to have this moment right before the world descends into chaos and violence. I mean, in 5 years, the idea of something being true or not will be funny.
Yeah.
The idea of truth will only be laughable because we will have descended by that point into a collective state of madness. Truly. The future of this country is a permanent state of schizophrenia brought on by the media, an endless assault of technology, narcissistic personalities injecting their opinions into everything. You will fall victim and prey to the monsters that are coming to eat whatever is left of this decayed system. You have no choice. Right or wrong in terms of like true or not true, what's real news and fake news. If somebody even suggests that, you'll just start to laugh maniacally like Joker. Pretty soon. We're heading there pretty quickly. There will be no value to truth in the future. There will be a collective split of realities. Some people will live in one. Some people will live in another. A lot of people will have one foot in each world. I mean, it's going to splinter. There will be no more one reality. We're heading into, and I'm not trying to sound like an LA, Looney Tune. We're heading to a place where people don't really have an interest in realities that don't conform to their thoughts, ideas, opinions, beliefs. They want to live in their own reality. Some people are going to live in their own reality. And your reality is going to come with your own media, your own figures, your own gods, your own deities, your own myths. It's going to come with all of these things. It's going to be prepackaged and sold to you. And you're no longer going to need any objectivity because it won't exist. Your reality is going to come fully fleshed out, just waiting for you to absorb it and become it wholly, totally, completely. There will be no more compromise. There will be no more truth, no more objectivity. There will only be the fucking darkness that you'll live in for the rest of your days until your physical body decides to quit. Another fun thing on Easter is a quiche. Like if you do a ham and cheese or a quiche Lorraine, you could do one with vegetables or something like that because that is kind of a fun appetizer. Enjoy the holiday.
Hi, I'm Timmy the Trash Can, and I love trash. Popcorn boxes, cups, and candy wrappers. They all taste so good. Instead of throwing your trash on the floor, won't you please give it to me? Thank you for considering your fellow patrons.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tim Dillon Show live from Austin, Texas. It is not live. We are in Austin, Texas. There is no video for this episode. Why? We are in Austin, Texas. We have a studio being built. Is it being built fast enough? Who knows? That's Ben's job. So if you are upset about no video, Ben Avery is good. On Twitter and Instagram, DM him. Tell him what you think of how long it has been taking him to get the studio together. But we do have a studio. It's in the process of being built. Okay? We're in Austin. I'm doing Cap City. We just left the Mecca. I still feel it's surreal. It still feels like an episode of Black Mirror. We just walked out of InfoWars. Mm-hmm. We did an hour with Alex Jones. This is something Ben's wanted to do since he was a young child. I mean, this is his Disney World. Watching Ben walk around InfoWars and listen.
So happy.
Yeah, and listen to there's TVs everywhere and all the shows they have are just blaring. Mm-hmm. And as Ben just walked around InfoWars looking for their coffee and listening to their fish oil, the pills, listening to the pitch for their fish oil pills, he was just like a kid walking around the Magic Kingdom for the first time. spoke to Rogan, and I'm like, I'm going to be down in Austin. Let's fucking do it. Rogan set it up. Alex, we got along famously as we would imagine, but it was a fucking wild thing because we've watched, and the same thing with Joe. We started out watching these shows, and now we're on these shows. There's something crazy about watching a computer, like I sound like a boomer. What do you watch a computer, and then you get the chance to deny Sandy Hook? We started out denying shootings in our living room, and then we got the chance to go deny them. No. But it is fucking wild when you're watching a MacBook and you watch an InfoWars, and then you climb through it and you end up on the other side of the screen. It's got to be nuts for you, Ben.
It was. I feel like Alex loved us, first of all, which was great. I was not it was a surreal experience, but when he walked into the room and we were sitting behind the desk and we didn't know what we were going to talk about, I was like ready for it because I've seen his face so many times. I wasn't even fazed. Were you fazed at all when he walked in?
Here's what phases me about the whole thing, right? I think about, like, God willing, whatever, I'm around in, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years, whatever the span of time is where people are going to look back on this time, like how we look back on the financial crisis of 2009. Like, people, everything right now, we feel like we're in it and we can't look back on it. Like, and it doesn't even, and when you go through any time, you can't imagine yourself looking back on it. But I try to think about, like, years later, somebody's going to be like, what the fuck was going on? Donald Trump was president. There was this guy in Austin, Texas, who created his own news network, and he fucking got deplatformed off everything. And then this other guy had a podcast in California, and it was like the biggest fucking thing. And it's wild that we have been able to see the inside of a lot of those fucking things, other than obviously the White House and Trump.
Right.
But, it's pretty wild. So to me, it was just like interesting to see that operation. I started listening to Alex Jones, I think, when he was at GCN, which was maybe a Christian network. I'm talking about the late 90s. I would listen to him. Like, I'm talking about, pre 9/11, listening to him when I think he was railing against NAFTA and things like that. Like, he was always a populist. And I think he was definitely on a network called GCN when I saw him today.
Yeah, it was the Genesis Communications Network.
Right. And that was a long time ago. And I imagine that's a Christian network, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Ben's like, my parents love it. It's on every day at our house. But that's when I started with Alex. And then, like anything else, you come and go, you wax and wane. I went years without listening to him. And then he'd pop up and I'd listen to him again. He'd come out with a documentary and I'd watch it. I remember the Bohemian Grove documentary came out and I was like, let's fucking check that out. That's very interesting. When did you first get into Alex? Because when I met you, you were kind of, and part of you, here's a reality. And I said this to him today. I will not back off from this. He is the most entertaining person on the planet. He really is. Like, whether you like him or not, or whether you think he's the devil or not, the guy is fucking transfixing to just watch. I've broadcasted for years. I've done stand-up for years. I've been an actor when I was a little kid, and I've been on stage since I'm 6. Being in a room with the guy, he is a fucking performer. And he is just, when he is at his best, and today we probably got just a small percentage of him, because we've all seen him when he's firing on all cylinders. I mean, that second Rogan was wild.
Yeah.
When did you first get into?
I can tell you when I got really deep into Alex. It's when he was getting banned. That's when I got really, really deep.
So when did you first come across him?
I think when I was living in Texas, for sure, I knew of him, but I didn't even think of him as like a guy who was super. I don't know how did people perceive Alex in like 2010? I can't even really remember now, because
I think when I remember him, and I remember is when he was promoting Loose Change. He was promoting that documentary, and he was showing up to 9/11 events with the bullhorn and talking about, George Bush and the Carlyle Group and 9/11 and trying to get, information out there. And I remember that Alex Jones, who was loathed by conservatives. They hated Alex Jones. Hated him. He was it's amazing. And again, we're talking 10 years ago. And everything is flipped because conservatives, even Democrats, liberals did not like him. He was liked by a very small group of people. And now I've seen questioning 9/11 kind of go mainstream. I wouldn't say mainstream, but it's a lot more acceptable now, especially in light of Epstein and all these things. You'd be like, yeah, we don't fucking, I have a joke in my act now where I go, nothing will shock you anymore after Epstein. If you find out tomorrow, if they're like 9/11 never happened, the Twin Towers are still there, you'd be online somewhere and you'd be like, fucking media. You wouldn't even be shocked. It's like joke in my act where I'm like, yeah, fucking media. Come on. Hey, buddy, the Twin Towers are still fucking there in New York. Can you believe that? God. There's nothing that'll move you off the, you'll still stand in line. You won't get out of line. Mm-hmm. You will not get out of line wherever you are. Whataburger, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're not getting out of that line for 9/11 never happened. If they go, by the way, our bad, our mistake. We didn't mean two buildings fell down. We were, but I remember that Alex Jones. And then when Obama gets elected, he becomes more of a right-wing populist by the very nature of he's an anti-establishment guy and he's always talking about who's at the top. So it was Bush, then it was Obama. What is fascinating is when he became a fan of Trump, you saw the whole dynamic of Alex Jones change because instead of being a guy that was outside of the establishment, no matter who was in it, right or left, he became a guy that, openly supported Trump. And also, because I never remember him being political. When I was growing up listening to him, I would tune in and it was like, we're all being lied to. We're all being manipulated. He'd talk about FEMA. He'd talk about mass graves. And then he got on the Trump train because he loathed Hillary Clinton. And Trump was this, populist or fake populist, whatever you think. And then Alex, had him on the show. He had Trump on the show famously. And then that's when I think people started to see him differently because they're like, oh, here's this guy who was just this anti-establishment guy who's now picked a side. Now he's a cheerleader for Donald Trump. If you remember, the Bushes, the Clintons, all of Hollywood, all of the media, pretty much. Now the media helped build Trump's candidacy by just the spectacle of it, of course, but most people in the media didn't want him to win. I think Rupert Murdoch didn't even want him to win. I think that the majority of CEOs in the country, not all of them, but a lot of them did not want Trump to win. And they had valid reasons for that. He was a wrecking ball and Alex got behind him and had him on the show. And that's when I think it was very interesting to see how Alex became a different kind of figure to many people. And then, of course, the Sandy Hook stuff, which I only started knowing about when it was because I didn't watch him then. I wasn't watching him when that was happening. Right. So I only got the fallout from it. So I don't know what he did. I know he said some things he regretted, and then people did horrible things to the families of the Sandy Hook kids that died. Unforgivable things, criminal things I will not justify, things I don't think Alex would ever justify. And me being on that network doesn't condone that, doesn't excuse that in any way. But what I think happened at that point was that you saw big tech just I think the term is it's more than even deplatform, unperson him. They took away every opportunity he had to broadcast, to put himself out there. They took away all his social media. I think even his bank accounts were getting canceled. I mean, It was pretty wild to watch. And again, not excusing anything that he said. or that, but again, what he actually said and then what's been put out there that he said might be different. I think he did say irresponsible things he should not have said, but just the idea of, this swift and complete deplatforming of this guy off every single social media platform, and also restricting his money to earn and restricting his ability to earn an income from any of the places where he was previously earning an income, happened overnight, pretty immediately. And I don't think there was really a warning for it. It was just like the gods of big tech came down and said, this is over. And then you started looking into him, and that's when you got into him. And then what?
But now that I think about it, this is really funny. When I first got into Alex was when I first got into comedy. And when I first got into comedy, I got into Patrice and Hicks and Stanhope. And I found that clip of Stanhope bringing Patrice on stage at Cap City,
because you
bringing Alex on stage.
You come from a really Christian family.
Yeah.
So when you get into the guys who are like questioning all of everything.
Right, exactly. And so I found that Patrice O'Neal interview on Alex Jones back in like 2005 or whatever. I'm like, this is really interesting. And I was like, what's the Bilderbergs? What's the Bohemian Grove? And that was kind of how I got in the door with all that stuff. And then, I'm
going to teach you 5 kids out. That's the song you're going to sing. Who were the Bilderbergs? What's the Bohemian Grove? The wheels, the Rothschilds go to the park and they worship an owl named Moloch. It's not an owl, it's a whatever.
Right.
Ben's all biblical. He knows what it is. What is Moloch actually?
Moloch it's a
calf.
It sacrifices children, but it's like a Canaanite thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's not an owl.
So you get into
he thought it was.
Because in Bohemian Grove it's an owl. They say the owl Moloch, but it's not an owl, but whatever.
It's like Baal. But my point is that I was introduced to Alex as a comedian. He's an entertainer. He was always to me just a funny guy. Like I'm with you. I didn't think of him as a politician. And then I stopped paying attention to him because I had a life, and I had no idea about the Sandy Hook stuff until way later when all the repercussions started coming down. So yeah.
What was it like when I told you we were going to do it? I would have loved to surprise you. Here's the thing. I would have loved. See, here's what I should have done. I thought about this.
Okay.
What I should have done is just take you to Cap City. Tell you that we weren't, like, I just need you to film a set. I need to record a podcast down here. And then when we land, go right there and you had no clue.
I would have blacked out.
See, here's what I was afraid of. Literally, the reason I didn't do that is because I was afraid of that.
Yeah.
I said to myself, I don't know. I knew there was a good chance that you would get on today. I wanted you to get on. But I also knew that it would be completely unfair to just throw you on the InfoWars set.
Right.
Because this is your wedding present. I'm going to give you money too.
Much.
But this is your wedding present. I told you I was going to get you Alex Jones. I was going to get you on InfoWars for your wedding. It's your 2-year sobriety anniversary. You get to go to InfoWars. By the way, I said today on the show, I looked at him and I looked at Alex and went, I think you're a rational guy.
You said he's a moderate.
I was like, you're a moderate. But by the way, in today's world, he kind of is. Like, he doesn't want a white ethno state. He just believes in pedophile cults and lizard people. That's what I believe in. I think we're moderates. I do. I'll entertain different arguments about healthcare. Sure, have Medicare for all. But don't come and tell me the planet's not run by a small group of people who blackmail and murder each other. I'll have none of that. Don't tell me that. So to me, he is a moderate, but I couldn't do that to you because I just didn't want you to like fucking fall down in the...
Yeah, I only spaced out once at the very end. I had no idea. We're going to have to watch it back. I don't even know what he was saying. You kind of lost track of what he was saying at some point.
Yeah, well, because he's so good. He's such an amazing broadcaster, and he's so entertaining, and he can speak extemporaneously for law, which is, by the way, how he gets in trouble. That's how he gets in trouble. And it's how I would get in trouble. It's how anyone gets in trouble, because if you speak extemporaneously, I mean off the top of your head for a long time, and you are not relying on a teleprompter, and nobody's got cue cards, and there's no plan, and there's just a couple of articles, and you're riffing. Comics call it riffing. You're just going off the dome, and you're in the conspiracy space. Like you're talking about fucking things that may or may not be true. How do you not get in fucking trouble? You're gonna get in trouble. I've gotten in trouble. Like I've said things and then look back and went, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. But that's what it is. There's no fucking way you make it. You know?
Yeah, we were even sitting in the green room and they were broadcasting that one guy who was just like some webcam guy they have an intermediate
he was talking about the
Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, the Richmond, Virginia free speech rally, which is going to probably turn into some type of bloodbath.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposedly going to be, you know, and they're like, there's going to be some, you know, probably there's going to be some, you know, whether it's leftists they were worried about, Antifa, whatever they said, like, or a COINTELPRO style operation. They're going to be agitators, they feel like. In the free speech rally, there's going to be some agitators. And then they're like, and by the way, there's going to be some people that, listen, they just believe that we can't vote our way out of the problem. And we don't want to insult those people. But they're going to be there with their weapons and they believe we can't vote our way out of it.
Yeah.
So, and me and Ben are sitting in the green room as this is going on, going, what the fuck?
And then he signs off. He goes, okay, I'm signing off. And by the way, we have none of the facts so far, but we have to keep talking about this regardless.
Yeah. He goes, we don't have any of the facts. This is not Alex. It's another guy. Yeah. He goes, we don't have any of the facts, but it's the story and we got to keep going with it. We got to just go with it. Hey, everybody. It's another Bachelor podcast. It's 2020, and there's a lot going on. We're on the brink of World War II. Australia's engulfed in flames. See, these kids have tried to write a ad in my voice for the Bachelor podcast that we talk about. What they don't realize is that I'm a comic genius, and they are not. So it would be like me writing a workout plan for a professional athlete. Okay, but I'll read it anyway, okay? Because I'm sure that they're the real geniuses. It's just because of some mistake, I'm the one that people care about. Anyway, let's read the copy. You know, it's just the way it worked out. We're just as funny as that guy. It just shook out the wrong way. There's an impeachment trial coming up, and the world is being sucked off its mana. Good boy. But there's nothing more important going on right now than season 24 of ABC's The Bachelor. If you're listening to my podcast, you're obviously a fan of that program. You're probably tuning in every week, but you're wasting your fucking time if you're not listening to a Bachelor companion podcast. The best one out there, we've talked about it before, is another Bachelor podcast featuring Nick with schizophrenic parents who produces Theo Von's show, Dylan, who's Jewish, and Pat, who's an older man. After hearing the ad read I did last week, Pat, as I assumed he might in the near future, attempted to take his own life. While he is independently wealthy with a child on the way, my words called into question his reason for doing another Bachelor podcast. After a few contemplative glasses of Pinot Grigio, they're too wordy, these kids. He naturally started asking more dangerous and dark questions of himself. What's the point of being a father if you know you'll fail? What's the point of doing anything really? What's the point of even sticking around? He was found in a bathtub by his podcast buddies who resuscitated him with the news that the ad read I did last week was in fact move the numbers. He's now in a better place mentally, not in heaven. So tune in. Here's what I'll say about these kids. They're really giving it a shot. Give it a shot if you watch The Bachelor and you want a companion podcast. If you watch The Bachelor, everyone listens to a podcast, whether it's Jared Freed or Girls Gotta Eat or fucking, Jewish women talk about the gash, whatever it is, it's, rich white Jewish women talk about the gash, which is the biggest type of podcasting right now. If you are a woman living in a city who doesn't celebrate Christmas and you want to talk about flicking your bean, you are making $1 trillion a year. And so I'm supporting these three white fucks for getting involved in this. 3 white men, okay? I wish they were good looking, but I've seen one of them and it ain't great. Tune in every week to another Bachelor podcast on iTunes, YouTube, and Spotify. He's not deformed, Nick, right? He's not that bad looking. I wouldn't say fine, but remember, everyone, escapism is the only thing that matters right now. I'm kidding, Nick. We're kidding. It's comedy. Relax. I'm sure you'll find. Does he have a girlfriend? You'll find when, Nick, you're making good money, you'll find a nice lady, and you guys can go live out in the valley and stare, and you could record each other. There is nothing you can do to prevent us from annihilation. The only thing you can do is find ways to cope, and I can't think of a better way than listening to another Bachelor podcast other than their spin-off recapping. But see, I want to talk about, here's the thing about Below Deck. I would come on that show and talk about Below Deck with you guys because, so they have another spin-off show recapping Bravo's hit series Below Deck, another Below Deck podcast also available. Here's the thing. I'm kind of interested in talking about Below Deck, and I am a superior comedian and broadcaster to you, and it's not even close. Like, we're not even in the same realm of anything. Like, I shouldn't even know. We should never have even met each other. We should never have been in the same room. Bitch, I've been doing this since I'm 6 years old, okay? Regaling crowds all across the country with great fucking theatrical stage presence. I had a great voice then, and I could tap dance. So the point is, you should only know me through the press. But the fact is, I will come on your Below Deck shitty podcast because that show fascinates me because I like to watch it. I don't know why. I just leave it on for hours at a time and I just kind of stare at it. I don't care about anybody on it or if the boat crashes or anything. But there's something about it where I don't know. It just kind of interests me. So I'd be willing to come on that. If you want me to come on, you have an open invitation to invite me on through Ben. Don't speak to me directly. Don't DM me directly. You out of your fucking mind. But through my people, contact me. Try to get in contact with me. Okay? Or have me back on Theo's show. I know he's interviewing Tommy Lahren. Okay? I don't know who's he got next week. Hitler? Have me on the program again, please. Thank you. I know we did it last time with Logan Paul. This time we'll do it with a big TikTok star. How about this time we do it with Little Huddy? Chase Hudson. He is Little Huddy. He owns the Hype House. Kid's fucking figured it out. He's got 9 million followers. He's dating Charlie D'Amelio, who's fucking the biggest TikTok person. But you know what? I think TikTok's missing fat Irish guys who think that immigration is a legitimate issue. That's what TikTok's missing. But it'll be there in a few years. Your racist aunt is joining TikTok, so don't worry about it. Get famous while you can because your racist aunt is joining TikTok. This has nothing to do with the ad anymore. Just watch the Bachelor podcast. Give these kids a chance. Maybe they're funny. And I'm sure they got a lot to say about me. Maybe like, then Tim said he made fun of us. And Dylan, whose parents are Jewish, I don't know why they threw that in because we're supposed to think that he's struggling. Dylan the Jew. I can't believe it. Good for you, Dylan. All right, folks. Good luck. God bless. Goodbye.
Right.
We had no idea what was going to happen before we got there. But by the way, that's when I thrive. Yeah. I think that's when Alex thrives. I mean, when we start planning, things get fucking haywire. Like, I get excited when there's just the wide open.
And I feel like you maneuvered pretty well with some of the things thrown your way.
Yeah, I mean, I did the best I could. Now, there's an interesting, it was kind of a dark energy in the building. Mm-hmm. And but Alex doesn't have it. But the workers do. Yeah. Because they're like, he may have it if you spent more time around him, but he actually was just like a lovely guy to us. Just like a friendly, funny, nice guy. But the workers seem there because the day in and day out, like me and Rogan talk about it all the time. I'm like, I could not do day in and day out what they do. Like to just talk about politics every day. You know, no matter what side of the coin you're on, but there's a darkness. They're all kind of afraid of him, you know, because I'm sure he lets him have it every now and then. It seems like he would every now and then would just let him have it.
We saw a glimpse of it.
We saw a little bit of it. But it probably gets when there are no guests in the building. It's probably like that scene in Succession. I don't know if anyone's watching where they do bore on the floor. And the head character in Succession, who's supposed to be like Rupert Murdoch, he just won a Golden Globe. His name's escaping right now. He's fucking brilliant. Brian, who's the guy in Succession, the head of Succession. But he goes, bore on the floor. He goes, get on the floor. And it's like a party in the show Succession. And he just starts stuffing hot dogs.
Brian Cox
is amazing. It's a great scene, well worth a watch. They're on the floor and he starts stuffing hot dogs in their mouth. He goes, hey, little piggies, you want it? And he starts throwing the hot dogs on the floor and they have to pick them up with their mouths. Yeah. And he goes, you like it, little piggies? Bore on the floor. And I went, oh, that might go down here 10 minutes after me and Ben leave. if they don't fucking do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, but there's a dark energy there. What do you attribute that to? I mean, other than the fact that it's like the topics that they talk, and they're on the outside, everything's very like, the war is coming. Like, we landed, we were walking around Austin, Austin's airport, and I was looking at people. I was like, do you know where the prison planet is? We're trying to find the prison planet. There is a war on for your mind.
Mm-hmm. When we walked into the green room, it's 50 degrees in there. It's ice cold. Freezing cold. First thing I said to you is I said, this feels weirdly like a government building.
Right. Yeah, it does. It's and that's where you probably get conspiracies like, oh, Alex is part of the whatever.
Right.
It's, you know, which I don't believe, but it is a operation that is larger in scope than you would imagine. He's, you know, got several studios. It's a news. What he started with, he's one guy. I mean, and there's other people on that network that are gaining in popularity, but he's still the guy. Mm-hmm. And so everything's an outgrowth of him. And so the idea is pretty amazing. We're living in a pretty interesting time in history where one guy can get a following that dwarfs a mainstream media news outlet. Mm-hmm. Like, he can have more people following him and watching his content than the evening news, than, you know, a network news show. That was interesting to see up close. Like, that was interesting to see how that happens. That being said, yeah, there is just a dark energy there. There is, like, we're on the edge of, you know, every single thing they talk about is that we're in a war. We're in the midst of a war, and we're on the edge of something terrible happening, and you feel it. You feel it with all the music they play, da da da, you know, and everybody kind of has that feeling in the studio. And then, of course, all of them, it's in an undisclosed location in Austin because they're all, you know, everybody's like, I'm sure they get threats and they have DDoS attacks, right?
Mm-hmm,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
The site suffers a lot. It's wild. And then as we leave, there's just two little kids like eating Chick-fil-A in one of the break rooms. And I don't even know. I guess there's someone's kid. They're like eating Chick-fil-A right in the break room.
Yeah.
What would be hilarious is if we left, those two little kids got on and they were like, MK Ultra's real. Like, you know, if they just started going off, you know, they both take out their guns. They're like, don't fuck, you're not taking my gun. You know, they're being interviewed by Gun Girl. What's her name? Caitlin Bennett. That's who I thought they were going to put, like, afterwards. They were like, you want to do some other shows? I'm like, we got to run.
Yeah.
We got to run, you know?
Alex doesn't really get comedy, but he's the funniest guy ever.
I don't think he gets, we played some of our sketches on the show. I'm sure his people will enjoy it. I don't know that I think he liked some of it. I bet you his head's running 1,000,000 miles a minute. And I bet that there's parts of it that he doesn't. Like, he found the Greta Thunberg sketch where we probably play her agent. He found that interesting because he felt like, he's like, yeah, that's an accurate depiction of an agent. He's like, you're not even doing comedy. You're just showing people what it is. You're just showing people what it is. Epstein Sample is walking around LA. This is real. You are Meghan McCain. Nothing's funny here. This is what it is. I'm like, thank you. I mean,
he said a couple of things that are just not true.
I don't listen, because that's the other thing on the show where you have to be careful, because you're sitting there and you're nodding and you're agreeing with him about everything, right? And this is literally what happened, word for word. He's like, and free speech is important. When we started the country, we know we had free. And Michelle Wolf bragged about killing her baby. She said it made her feel strong. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. I don't know that. Did that happen? I'm like, I don't. And he's like, George Soros is a Nazi. He's literally a Nazi. So you have to stop yourself, because you're going like, yeah. Then you're like, oh, hold on.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Only because I know so little about George Soros. I know what people know, which is that he's a financier. He's collapsed a few world economies like anyone else with his level of wealth. And he takes an interest in how people live and what they do. And he funds the people that he thinks. I mean, it's like, but I know that he's the boogeyman on the left in the same way that the Kochs are the boogeyman for the right. I get it.
Right.
But I know nothing about George Soros' history. So when somebody goes, he's a Nazi, I'm like going, is it? All right. Like, I don't know.
Even on a basic level, like off air, he was like, yeah, copyrights and stuff. We can play whatever we want. There's no such thing as copyrights. It doesn't exist. We're like, Alex, that's not
Yeah,
true.
maybe. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
But I guess I might believe in the Illuminati too if every single major company got together and deplatformed me on the same day.
Yeah, well, listen, he's manifested the world that has happened in a sense, because like he 100% is not wrong when he talks about a small group of elite people controlling the world and all its resources. Nobody really debates that. The debates are like, what are we going to, the debates are what, if that wasn't the case, what would it look like? Would it be one dictator doing it? Would it be worse? Would it be some global government system? I mean, it's like the real thing is, okay, well then what comes next? It's really like a compared to what argument. Most people, even cynical people like myself will kind of be like, yeah, it is bad. And I hate private prisons. I hate this. I hate that. But then it's like when people are like, well, let's tear it all down. You're like, well, great. But then what? So he's not wrong about that. I think what's happened to him, though, is it's become explicitly political. Like, it feels very political as of late. It feels like Republicans good, Democrats bad. Trump good, and he distanced himself from that today a little bit. But Trump's good, Democrats are bad. And it's just interesting that this guy, Donald Trump, who we know has been with these people, admittedly, been bribing these people, pouring money in their mouths, getting everything he wants from them, hanging out with guys like Jeffrey Epstein, that this guy is somehow the white knight savior of the country. That's just, to me, I've always found that hard to believe. I'm just a cynical guy, and I don't believe that Donald Trump is going to do it. I don't believe that Jesus Christ chose Donald Trump but there are people out there that believe that. I'm not saying that Trump's Hitler. I don't believe that either. I don't believe Vladimir Putin put Trump in your breakfast cereal or whatever people on the other side allege. I think Trump's just a guy. But I think he's a statement that it isn't working, and we're probably at peak of what this is going to look like in terms of, the economy's roaring and things are pretty good. And I think a Donald Trump-like figure comes around after 20 years of a government that's been mired in corruption and has sold out the middle class, to say nothing of the poor. And that's when a figure like Trump emerges. It's when a figure would emerge that, that's like, fuck everything. But it just feels, Alex, it feels more like a political show now than a conspiracy show. But now those worlds have fused together, and on the left, they fuse together because they believe that Russia's behind everything. Tulsi Gabbard, Russia. Everybody's Russia, Bernie, Warren, every single. But what was it like for you interacting with him? Because he was calling you Ed McMahon because you weren't talking that much. He was like, who's the guy that sat on the couch next to Carson and didn't say anything? Ed McMahon. That's who he is, Ed McMahon.
I was thrilled.
How wild is it that Alex Jones reading your Twitter handle?
I know.
It's like, Ben Avery is good. It's a real... It's good. What is it like interacting with him?
It was just the thrill of a lifetime, dude. He's just... I mean, is there anybody more... The whole time, in between every break, Tim, we would just turn to each other and we'd be like, how much fun is this? I mean, have you had more fun than that, than doing him? I mean, it was such a fucking
It was
blast.
so much fun. I have had more fun.
Oh, okay.
I have had more fun than doing InfoWars.
I have not had more fun than doing
good.
InfoWars.
Well, that's lovely for your fiance to hear. But I've had more fun, but I loved it. It was a lot of fun. It was amazing. He's an interesting guy. He's a fascinating guy. The operation is fascinating. It's a fascinating period of history to see up close. This wasn't something that could happen years ago. A guy could not amass the following that he has without the technology and probably without the political climate that we're in. Like, he is, again, it's a perfect time capsule to look at. You look at Rogan and the success Rogan's had, and it's like, again, these guys are really markers that you would if you were like, you ever see a tailor who's fixing a suit, who's altering a suit, and they make markers with the chalk on the suit to what they have to do. You would make one by Rogan, you'd make one by Alex Jones, and not that they're related, but that like they are media operations that primarily center around one guy. and they're as influential as huge networks. It's wild. It's very interesting.
I kind of had a private thought during the interview. I thought, I wonder if Donald Trump is watching. Did you have that thought at all while we were broadcasting?
No, but it's not an unreasonable thought.
Maybe Trump will like the.
I think Trump and Alex speak. I think it's very possible.
Trump has done InfoWars. He might be watching.
It's very possible somebody showed him the Meghan McCain sketch. I'm not positive that that's happened, but I would imagine. I mean, if fucking Trump does Rogan will play it for him. I know that. God bless Joe. He'll be like, listen, you seen Tim Dillon do Meghan McCain?
But yeah, making Alex laugh. I got one big laugh on the show. That just made my.
What was the retarded line?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't ruin it for everyone.
Yeah,
you have to watch Infowars.com.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone will be able to watch. People said, where can we see this? I'm like, I genuinely don't know.
What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to clip it and put it in a Dropbox link and just put a link on the Patreon or something.
Yeah, because we can't fuck around with YouTube. We can't lose our YouTube channel. We can't start putting clips on Instagram. Can we put clips on Twitter?
Well, yeah, I think it should be fine, actually, because Logan Paul and all those guys have Alex Jones on. Count Dankula had Alex Jones on. A lot of the YouTubers are having them on his channel.
I know, but I think that's different. Having him on your channel is different than clipping his show and putting it out.
Oh, you're right.
Because he's not supposed to be on there.
Yeah, you're right.
That's, I think, the big difference.
Yeah, we shouldn't clip anything and put it anywhere. Yeah,
I would not.
But I'll do a Dropbox
link on the Patreon. Pay the money, folks. You want to be in the club? Pay the fucking money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what to tell you. It's a big club, and you and I can be in it for $5 a month. That should be the start of the show. We should have that Carlin quote. It's a big club, and you and I can be in it for $5 a month. It's not that bad. You can watch Timmy and Ben on InfoWars making his dream come true in Austin. Support for the Tim Dillon Show comes from Manscaped, the best in below-the-belt men's grooming, okay? This is for your pubic hair. Manscaped is precision tools for your family jewels. Don't use the same trimmer on your face as you're using on your balls, you dummy. That's gross. Get the Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0. This set has everything you need to keep your tree trimmed. There are so many this ad has so many different, keep your tree trimmed. Tools for your jewels. God. It's called the Lawnmower 2.0 because it has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology. So this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. It's also waterproof, so you could use it in the shower. Get your stocking stuffer looking and smelling its best with Perfect Package 2.0. This comes with the razor plus the crop preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why not put deodorant on your balls? They're also throwing in the crop reviver. This will be keeping your balls from sweating or sticking. I mean, here's the deal. You need one of these things. There's only a few of them on the market. One's in your Elko Body Groom. The other one is this. This helps out the show. Okay, if you like the show and you need to shave your balls, men or woman, because it's 2020, if you're a woman and you have a penis and you need to shave it, this is also the way to go. So you get 20% off and free shipping with code TIM. Use the code. So people know that you're coming from this podcast. 20% off and free shipping with the code TIM. 20% off. You're not going to get the deal if you don't use the code. TIM. You get free shipping. Okay? And you will get this fucking really cool thing. I use it. They sent me one for free. And it's very easy to use. You're not worrying about cutting your dick off. You're not worrying about some horrible accident. They've taken a lot of care with the way they put this thing together. You can use it. You can use it while you're intoxicated. You can do it while you're driving. You can do it while you're operating heavy machinery. If you're flying a plane, you can do it. You can do it in public because it's very discreet. So you're not going to nick yourself and yell, and then everyone's going to turn around in the Wendy's and realize you have your dick out. Just be quiet. You can sit in the back booth of a Pizza Hut and just trim yourself very quietly. They might not even care if they notice you. There's never more than 2 or 3 booths occupied in a Pizza Hut. That's one of the laws. Gravity is one of the laws, and the other laws in a Pizza Hut, there's just 2 or 3 booths, 2 or 3 unfortunate families. That's it. You can just sit in a dark corner of the restaurant, get yourself together. If you use the promo code. Okay? We're going to say the promo code again because many of you have many, many issues. The promo code is TIM, like my name. It is my name. TIM. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code TIM at manscaped.com. So go to manscaped.com. TIM, 20% off, free shipping. If you're a dude, you need this. That's a simple reality. You don't need everything we sell, but you need one of these, and this is a lot better than the Norelco Body Groom, and I don't know what else is on the market for this, but this is the way to do it. So again, manscaped.com, 20% off, TIM. A real interesting energy in that building, man. Just walking around. Everybody's real caffeinated, probably. You know?
Tons of editors just sitting there dead-eyed. I tried to talk to some of them. They were like scared. Did you try to talk to anybody? They like jumped back.
No, I didn't try to talk to anybody. I just went to the bathroom twice and then went back to the green room. And I didn't really try to talk. But there was a few people on the Instagram post who were like, I work for Alex. I had no idea you'd be there. What did you try to say to the editor? I just said hello to them and they were like terrified and they went back to their work.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was just like, hello. Like,
I think they're afraid that if they're caught fraternizing with people and not working, they're in real trouble.
Oh, okay. Okay.
How do you get hired on that network? I think they by the way, I think they post like a secret. I think they let you know in the job description that it's going to come with some, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if it's on like...
But they hire people, they need to get people. So I do think I read some article about it from some disgruntled employee that didn't like it and wrote an article. The New York Times wrote an article. Somebody wrote an article about this guy. And he was, I think, talking about how he got the job. I either read it there or somewhere else. And they were like, it's kind of this highly secretive thing where they figure out, and then they kind of let you in on the fact that like, yeah, this is, this has downsides. Being associated with our outfit has downsides. And like, we will be honest with you. This comes with some baggage. There will be some baggage to work in here. Some people are just editors. Yeah, we thought about that. We said, I wonder how much people make.
Yeah, I wonder how much Owen makes and those guys. I think they
Owen
definitely...
Schroyer, who's the other guy. He's like the protege.
Yeah, we saw him. Rex
You
was not
saw
there.
him. I did not see him.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the whole compound.
I barely know who these people are. Ben's like, there's Owen. I'm like, oh, like Ben knows all these people.
Yeah.
I know Gun Girl.
Yeah.
I didn't see her, but you saw Owen. I didn't see Owen.
I didn't see Rex.
Well, Rex is Alex's son. He's a real protege, I guess, right?
Yeah, he was in the tank with Alex the other day. They have like a tank they drive around in through Austin now.
They have a tank?
Yeah, it's like this big like tank car, like armored car thing. And they just shout. Alex was just shouting through a bullhorn that like, Hillary Clinton slits the throats of children.
Well, that's what we said. Don't give him our line. That's what we said in our video. Where does they put that content out?
They were live streaming that on Rex Jones Periscope on Twitter because every other outlet they're like banned from.
How great would it be if Rex Jones was just huge on TikTok? He's just dancing around, like pointing to things.
He's doing the cowboy boogie.
Yeah, he's like, Hillary Clinton's a vampire. He just points to it and he dance to that Doja Cat song. You know, mama, ma-na-na. That one on TikTok. But I don't know, man. It was a kind of interesting. It was a really, really interesting fucking day. I didn't think, I didn't know what it was going to be like. It went as well as it could have gone. I was very pleasantly surprised by everything. I knew it would go well. He's a friendly fucking dude, Do you think he retires? Do you think he keeps going? Do you think 4 more years and then he's done? Do you think he'll...
I mean, this is sort of a dark thing to say, but I think he's kind of a guy that just sort of drops one day.
So he just goes till the end.
I think
that's
so.
Interesting. Yeah, he just goes and rides it out until the end, and he just keeps going. It's very possible.
He lives hard. I will say he looks a little better now. He seems sober.
Yeah, I think he stopped drinking. He's starting to get himself together, lose a little weight, I mean, good for him, man, But it's wild to think about you know, what's the next iteration of him? I wonder if there is one. Like, if Trump is out in 4 years and then a Democrat gets back in, or a Democrat, like, I wonder what, then he becomes the outsider again, where he doesn't really have the access. But I think at that point he retires, maybe. I think he kind of retires.
You can't see someone filling those shoes. He's just a one-of-a-kind guy.
Yeah, and a lot of people would be happy that nobody's filling those shoes, probably.
Well, like Paul Joseph Watson or any of these guys, they can't even come close.
None of them have the gravitas. None of them are as entertaining. None of them are as wild. None of them are as... but I do think that nothing lasts forever, and then, you know, there will be people that will step into that role. You just don't know who they are going to be. I could never spend every single day just talking about politics. Like, we talk about conspiracies a fair amount, but we're always trying to be funny, and that's why I'm a comedian. So I want to make people laugh. I want to make people happy. And I could just never, whether it was Fox or CNN or InfoWars or any of these, no matter what the outfit was, I could just never spend all day, every single day, just in like this fucking, like, on war footing.
Yeah, you've said it before, dude, but you couldn't get paid enough money to keep your mouth shut anyway, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. But I don't know if InfoWars, I'd have to keep my mouth shut. I think I'd be allowed to say whatever I wanted. They would hire me. I think they would hire me.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I had that thought today. Like, I could work here. I had that thought when we were in Alex Jones's place. I'm like, I could get a job here and just have a show here. Probably. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. You could too. Mm-hmm. You could be my editor and we could just go there and work. I mean, that's how crazy. We're not going to.
We're not going to do that.
We're not going to. But that was a thought in my head. Like, I was just like, all the different ways this thing could go, you know? All the different ways comedy could go. I could get a show here talking about fluoride in the water.
Yeah.
And just start doing that.
Yeah.
You know? In the same way that a lot of these comics went full SJW, like, all they do, you know, they put out more content of them canvassing for Bernie Sanders than they put out of them being funny, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me, but it's like you could just end up in a place where you wouldn't think. I wouldn't think when I started comedy, I didn't think I was going to be on the Alex Jones show. Now, it's stupid knowing me, knowing my personality. I don't know why I didn't think that. Going back, I should have fucking thought that. But it really does take you interesting. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would be on his show?
Never.
Being interviewed by him?
Never. Ever.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
So cool, dude. I'm still just like, I'm just speechless about the whole thing.
You're going to have to watch it back with Katie and Jace. Like, you're going to have to, I mean, you're going to get, tomorrow night, you'll be home by when it airs.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I'll clip it. I'm going to clip that one line I got. I'll put it on Instagram.
It's going to be wild to watch it with your brother and your fiance.
I wonder if they heavily edit it too.
We'll see.
I hope not. Hope not.
We'll see. Wouldn't it be funny if it just starts with him saying Michelle Wolf killed her baby?
And we're just nodding and giving the thumbs up to the camera.
We're nodding, giving the thumbs up. And then, by the way, that's all. That's it. Then we're done. There's nothing else. It was supposed to be a whole segment, but he's like, Michelle Wolf killed her baby. We're like, yep. Thumbs up. And then he's like, George Soros is a Nazi. Yeah. And then it just goes, Tim Dillon comedy. Ben Avery is good. It's like, whoa. Hold on. Slow the roll.
You know what we got to do now? We got to go do Rush at some point.
Limbaugh is going to be near impossible. He does not have guests.
No Collins?
Collins, yeah. I should imitate him to him. Ladies and gentlemen, it's El Rush. It's Rush Limbaugh, El Rushmo, the Maharishi. Live from sunny South Beach, Florida. It's Open Line Friday. There's no, the only one that's really left to do is Stern.
Yeah.
Stern in New York City is the only one left to do. Yeah, I've done no late night shows. I never had an interest. I had no interest in Colbert or Fallon. I think my agent submitted a tape to Conan 4 years ago, but I've had, no interest in doing late night stand-up comedy, but I really have enjoyed going on all of these major podcasts and radio shows and internet shows. So I think the only one left to do that I'd really want to do would be Stern. Rush I wouldn't even want to do because Rush I find enjoyable, even though he's fucking insane. He just should be completely alone, just doing his thing. But like I would, Stern and Stern's the last one because we've done all. I mean, we're going to do Your Mom's House soon. That's going to be in the book soon. And then we've done Joe a bunch. We've done Alex. I've done Bennington, and I've done Jim and Sam. I've done whatever is left of that whole New York kind of thing. I mean, I haven't done the Breakfast Club. I guess that would be cool with Charlemagne and them. I could do that. That's like Black Stern.
I would love to see you do some mainstream stuff though too, like Fallon. Like
yeah, why didn't you think about that before we went to InfoWars today? Were you out of your mind? You fucking on crack? I would like to see you do some mainstream stuff as well. Now that we've done InfoWars and Alex Jones has said that he loves our comedy, I think that the next stop would be Fallon. And are you seriously? Is there a gas leak in the room? What am I going to do on Fallon?
I don't know. Just antagonize him, go nuts.
I mean, he'll never have me on. Seth Meyers will probably never have me on. It's probably a good idea that they don't have me on. I mean, I've talked a lot of shit about Fallon. My pinned tweet is me saying I think that he bit someone, which isn't true, but it's very funny. And I don't know that it isn't true, but I hope it's not true. I mean, I've tweeted that Ellen DeGeneres is in the CIA, and I believe that there's a decent argument to be made for that she's an asset, that she's helping, I mean, the only guy that interacted with Stephen Paddock, the only guy, we should have asked Jones about Paddock off air.
Oh yeah.
We're going back.
Yeah.
We're going back. And by that, I mean tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. But we're going back because I would like to go back. We didn't get a chance to ask him a lot of things today, like off air.
He was very busy.
He was very busy. We did the segment, but what was interesting is like I would like to ask him a lot of things about, but Ellen was the only guy to interview. The only guy that interacted with Paddock directly, Ellen, and he was interviewed on Ellen. Ellen. What? This guy was a witness. Is it, what is it? One of the biggest mass shootings in history, or the biggest mass shooting in history? And then what is he going to do? Go to Ellen and do the boogie? What the fuck is going on? Don't we have an interest in having a news person interview this guy to get some kind of statement on the record? And we send him to Ellen. So that's the type of thing we start going, yeah, something's a little weird there. Something's a little weird when Ellen is the only person that gets to talk to the one guy. He was supposed to go on Hannity, and I think he canceled. Pretty sure he canceled. I think Ellen was like the one thing he actually did. That's like, just makes you think. Just makes you go, hey. But I mean, I don't know that I'll get the opportunity to do any of those things. And it's okay. That's okay. I'm not against doing them either. But I understand why I'm not asked to do them. I get it. I also get why SNL doesn't reach out. I get why, it's disappointing. I would like to make a good TV show. I'd like to make a good movie. I'd like to make something really funny. I'd like to answer the milquetoast horseshit safe comedy with something real. And you need money to do that, and you need somebody to get behind you to do that, seriously. But until then, we'll just do what we're doing on our own and tell everyone to go fuck themselves. With the help of our friends and people that really like comedy, But other than that, it's like, fuck it, But this was as close to a Black Mirror episode. Black Mirror, InfoWars, Ben Avery, Ed McMahon. Alex Jones kept calling you Ed McMahon.
Like 20 times.
Called you Ed McMahon 20 times. He's like, we're here with Ben Avery. It's good. Ed McMahon.
He started talking about Caddyshack at some point, like for no reason.
He went into a few rants where I didn't know. I was on a roller coaster. I was just trying to ride it. I was just trying to grab words like, what? This, that, I'm okay. And we didn't get a lot of flack. I thought we were going to get more flack.
On your post, is anyone mad?
I mean, no. I mean, listen, I'm not also going to read all the comments. I've read some of them and nobody, I mean, listen, I just don't think that, I just don't think that people give that much of a fuck. I think that we've set up we've managed people's expectations to where they understand that absolutely we're going to do something like this.
Yeah.
And Alex has done a lot of good work. And I mean, I know that that's Not the most popular thing to say, because he's done some work that isn't good and didn't work out well. That's also true. But I mean, when I mean good work, I mean, there's nobody else that got into the Bohemian Grove and did what he did. There's nobody else had the balls to go in there and expose that. And whatever that means, you could say whatever you want. Maybe it is just a high-end fraternity. Maybe it is just the most powerful people in the world in hoods sacrificing an effigy of a child, which is not a real thing. It's just like whatever it is. It's like a child made of, sticks or whatever they burn. Mm-hmm. We're hoping. And then there's this large owl and everything. And he got that on camera. And you can say whatever you want. If you have any interest in how society works, you can't ignore that.
Right.
You can't ignore that. You can't ignore guys in the hoods, in hoods in the woods. That's the other thing that my children will read. They'll read that book, that children's book, Guys in the Hoods in the Woods. And it's not about the Klan either. It's about the Bohemian Grove. But you can't ignore a bunch of guys chanting and doing like pagan rituals in the woods, especially when they own everything. It would be one thing if they owned nothing. And you'd be like, oh, those are the losers. They're so poor they wear hoods and chant. Those fucking guys. But when it's like, who are those guys? And it's like, oh, they own everything. They own banks and media company, and they're in the woods sacrificing a fake child and chanting. It's at least curious. You'd at least bring that up, right?
Yeah.
When you were smoking pot with your buddies, you'd go, let me explain. Let me ask you this. Let me tell you this. When you were eating Taco Bell with your boys and you're all fucking just still a little high, you go, you know what's interesting? I watched a video the other day where the most powerful people in our country wear robes, go into the woods, sacrifice the effigy of a child, or sacrifice a child in effigy, however you say it, and they do it at the base of this large wooden owl, and they chant. Isn't that fun? We don't really hear about that in school books. Isn't that interesting? It's odd. Mm-hmm. It's just odd. You would just say it. I had a bunch of Skulls kids or whoever from all the different Ivy Leagues, not all Skulls, but like a lot of them messaged me when I said in the last podcast, messaged me if in their elite things. Some of them created dummy Instagram accounts. Some of them were very funny and clearly not in Skull and Bones, and clearly just some of them were actually very funny and everything like that. A few of them I thought were very legit, and a lot of them were just like, yeah, it's a high level fraternity where we're trying to create bonds amongst people we think are going to be future leaders, which I get. And none of us know each other. So we're all just trying to we go into these hyper personal situations. We all tell each other everything about ourselves and our secrets and blah, 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 blah. I get that. I'm not as weirded out by that. I still think it's just the beginning of creating an elite. I get it. That's very understandable to me. I totally get that. But then you look at it's still going on when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. You're not in college anymore. There's no homoerotic fun of being like, ooh, I'm in the coffin next to you. You know? They don't even whack off in front of each other anymore at the Skull and Bones initiation. It's that's the fun part. That's the real fun part, you know? Right after I messaged Adam Friedland, I said, you want to jerk off in a coffin? We don't even have to go to Connecticut. I said, I can make that happen because I know your girlfriend and you just had a problem. Doesn't matter. Leave that communist. It doesn't matter. I'll take you to a coffin and treat you right. The point is this. So that the sorority secret fraternity shit, I kind of get because it's college kids and they're trying, fucking college is weird. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that as the great Ray comes out. Listen, it's the most powerful fraternity in the world. That's not nothing. It's not nothing. And listen to me. And he's right. Fat Raymond visiting LA, by the way, next week.
Yes.
LA gets Fat Raymond.
Very excited.
We're taking him to the Pink Wall. We're taking him to the Influencers. We're taking him to Beverly Hills Hotel. He's just going to destroy the city. I hope he destroys the entire city. He's just going to come in and just destroy the entire city. He's going to throw a lit cigarette and start the Malibu fire again. Rogan's going to have to be evacuated again because Fat Ray is going to throw a cigarette in a fucking in a wooded area. Yeah. But it is fucking so. On the one end, like the Skull and Bones and that stuff and all of those elite groups, I think that that's like a farm team for who will eventually be the big power players and who will eventually do some probably nefarious things. But that's not nearly as weird to me as the Bohemian Grove. It's just a super weird. Now it's the same principle, right? It's the same principle, but the people are a lot older. It's just interesting. It's odd. And Alex Jones exposed that. And again, it's well worth a watch and it's well worth a chat about it. It's fun to chat, to go, I know that everything's about money. Eventually, I'm not stupid. And I know that everybody wants money and power. But it's very interesting to go, what role does the occult play in this stuff? Even just the optics of it. Like, why are people so married to the optics of the occult in the ruling class? Is it a way to just be edgy?
Right.
You know, because it could be, right?
Right, like James Alefantis' Instagram account when we were looking at that. You're like, this is just rich people just trying to be edgy.
Well,
trying to be cool.
Maybe.
Right.
Here's the thing. I don't know. I believe that there was probably a kernel of truth in the Pizzagate thing. That doesn't mean that the whole thing was true. And the reason I don't think it's true or not as true as people said it was is because there were no victims. Franklin scandal, victims, book written about it. Grand juries were subpoenaed to cover it up. Pizzagate, there were no victims. So unless you believe that they're killing fucking everybody.
Right.
It's odd. Epstein, again, victims, hundreds, thousands. There's got to be victims for these type of things, I think, to have credibility, because they do. The Franklin scandal, you know, when the Hollywood madam was killed, Deborah Jean Palfrey, who said, I'm not suicidal, and then killed herself. There's none of this is, but yeah, so when you look at those Pizzagate Instagram accounts, you're like, what the fuck's going on? Because these are weird accounts. So like, it's either rich people trying to be edgy, which I think they do, because a lot of rich people are just boring, and they haven't really had normal, fulfilling experiences in life. So they try to be edgy and they don't know how to do it. And they, you know, their life famously in many cases doesn't have any stakes. So that what they're trying to do is be dangerous and edgy. But I don't know. So when you look at the occult stuff, you go, is it that? Or is there something a little more sinister, a little darker, a little more superstitious? I don't know. And I don't know that I'll ever know. I'll only be able to look at it and glean from it what I think. You know, the Hollywood messaging and all like the music videos and stuff. Is it overtly occult? Is it trying to brainwash kids and whatever? I don't know. I think some of the people that work in Hollywood are very sick. And God only knows what they would like to do. God only knows what music videos would look like if Dan Schneider directed all of them. You know what I mean? God only knows. So I don't know. I don't, you know, but I do think there's a fair amount of that. But I also think a lot of it, again, is just people trying to be edgy, trying to be goth, trying to be interesting. Billie Eilish is not that talented. She's just not that good. Mm. So there's a lot of distractions from the music. Because the music is, and I'm not hating on Billie. Shout out to Billie. She's good for her. I'm not hating on her. I think she is talented, okay? But again, you wouldn't hear Billie Eilish's voice and lose your mind and go, this is the greatest thing ever, right? Mm. But her songs are very catchy, and her brother's very talented at writing them. And she does have like a melodic, like whatever, like whatever. But that was my impression of her. I like Satan, whatever it is, because that's her song. When you listen to the lyrics, it'll be like, all the good girls suck Satan's cock. And everyone's like, ooh, so talented. But I think, so where does the goth stuff come from there? Is it like, is she a tool of the elite establishment? I don't think so. I think they're just compensating for the lack of voice. I think Whitney Houston just got out there and killed it. I think Eilish is just like, yeah, it's everything now. It's not just the voice, it's the fashion. And I'm a goth, and I'm this, and I'm damaged, and I'm that. And I think that's more what it is. That's my belief but again, is there somebody in the background that like has an interest in this stuff being, who knows? But I think from what I've seen, a lot of these people in Hollywood that are just trying to be goth or edgy or dark or damaged, they're doing it to compensate for just not being that talented. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. Okay? You know, you're not Ella Fitzgerald. You're not somebody who is just like fucking wow. Go listen to Summertime by Ella Fitzgerald, by the way. Go listen to something like that. I thought Janis Joplin had a good version of Summertime, that heroin addict dyke. And then I listened to Ella Fitzgerald, and the jazz singing, the bebop was so good. And I like Janis too, but so I think that's what it is. But again, that doesn't mean that there aren't people there that are into some sick shit. And if they could telegraph that sick shit through whatever art, I'm sure that's also. I mean, when you watch Woody Allen movies and they're all about his relationships with very young women, and then you hear about that, you can't not look at those and go, huh. I mean, at the very least, you go, huh, okay.
Yeah, like that part from the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
With the teen girl, where she's like 20 and she's like,
yeah,
Indy, you shouldn't have done that to me. I was just a girl. And supposedly George and George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were like arguing about like what would have happened or something. Yeah,
why would we need to make Indiana Jones a pedophile?
Yeah, and we learned that from
But also why, if the goal was to normalize it, why would you make such a weird reference? It was so
right.
I don't know. I mean, listen, you could look at a million things and go, what is this? What is that?
Yeah.
That's when you start to lose your mind. You start talking about Taylor Swift being in the Monarch cult.
Right.
You know?
What was great about Chris and Giannis being in LA this past week is we were having dinner with an executive at Ocean Prime.
Yeah.
And Giannis goes, how many people in Hollywood do you think are actually a pedophile?
Yeah.
And he's just cutting it to a steak. And he goes, I'd say about half.
Yeah. Well, I think Giannis said the people at the Golden Globes.
Oh, yeah, the Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes, right?
Yeah.
And then, because there's 60 million people in California. And they're not, most of them work at grocery stores. But it was funny, man. That was so funny. And then Giannis looks at me and goes, what the fuck is going on? Aren't there enough hot 19, 20-year-olds for you people? Like, what's enough's enough already? It's just a fucking... I can't convey to you people how surreal the day was, but how it's the logical conclusion of a lot of the things we've been doing, in the sense that when me and Ben started becoming friends, we wanted to make ourselves laugh. We wanted to explore areas that most people had the good sense not to explore. Most people open the door, they see something, they go, no. They open the door, crack, they go, not for me. We wanted to open the door and walk fully into it and see what it was. And that's what we've done, and probably, hopefully, what we'll continue to do. And this was like the culmination of it, to go on that show, to see the operation, talk to this guy who we both, felt like you kind of knew and had friends who knew. And really to just climb as far as we could into that fucking MacBook. I mean, which is pretty scary. But, 2 years ago, we were watching InfoWars at your house, smoking cigarettes.
In the garage.
Laughing because it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And now, 2 years later, we are on the show being interviewed by this guy. And with an open invite back, which we'll definitely take, it's just a fucking interesting, 2 years. It's been a pretty productive 2 years. You're sober 2 years.
Mm-hmm. This
is like your 2-year sober anniversary.
Yeah.
With Alex Jones on InfoWars.
If I make it to midnight, yeah.
Great question. Great call.
If Alex calls us back up and wants to hang out.
If Alex calls us and wants us to relapse right now, we absolutely would. We'd drive right to his studio and start getting fucked up.
We'll smoke a rock with Alex Jones.
We'll smoke crack with Alex Jones right now.
Yeah.
If he wanted us to. Absolutely. But it will be on the Patreon. We'll clip it up. We'll throw it on the Patreon. TimDillonComedy.com for all the live tour dates that are moving forward. We have a lot of stuff coming up. We hope you guys are grabbing tickets to it. We have even more dates that are coming up that we're going to announce. Me, Nick Mullen, and Luis Gomez are going to do something in LA. How cool is that? We have Zanies in Chicago. Old Town Chicago is one of my favorite rooms. February 5th through the 8th, I'm going to be there. Please get tickets to that. That's going to be a great fucking show. They're selling pretty quick. I think we're almost maybe we were half sold out a while ago, so we're probably almost 3/4 of the way sold out. Ontario, Canada, the Grand Girard Theatre, February 14th and 15th, Valentine's Day. If you like me and you live in Toronto, and a lot of you have messaged me, why are you not going to Toronto? I am. The Grand Girard Theatre, Ontario, Canada, 15th and 14th of the month, okay? New York, Carolines, March 12th through the 14th, Carolines Comedy Club. Bloomington, Minnesota, April 9th through the 11th, the House of Comedy. Phoenix, Arizona, May 7th through the 9th. I think we just moved one of those dates to late February to be part of JFL Northwest. So I'm trying to think what would be Northwest. I'm not sure. Or maybe we move the Edmonton date, Canada, the comic strip. I don't know. Edmonton, we're going to be Canada's in June. Let me tell you what date got moved right now because I don't want people to start screaming at me, and I know that you will. You'll be like, that's crazy. The lies. I feel bad if you bought tickets for Cap City on Wednesday. They're honoring them Thursday. Helium in Philly. Lots of requests to come here. March 19th through the 21st. Helium in Philadelphia. Make sure that's not Skankfest, Ben. Google Skankfest South in Houston. I don't think it is. But March 19th through the 21st, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Helium. Come check that out. If you saw me a year and a half ago, I've got a new hour of material. You'll enjoy it.
Skankfest South is March 27th through the 29th.
Perfect. Okay, good. That's perfectly fine. Another thing, April 23rd through the 25th, we're back in Dallas at Hyenas Nightclub. Comedy Nightclub. We're in Fort Worth. We did the Hyenas. We're back in Dallas, okay? Let me tell you another thing. Let me just tell you this date that just got changed because I don't want you. Okay, here it is. House of Comedy, okay? We are moving to February 20th, and we're going to be part of JFL Northwest. So that is House of Comedy, New Westminster, British Columbia. I don't even know when that was supposed. That was going to be March 5th through the 8th. Well, we've never even talked about that. So, now we're going to be in British Columbia in late February. We're going to BC, House of Comedy in New Westminster, British Columbia. There are more dates. TimDillonComedy.com has all the dates, all the ticket links. Tim J. Dillon, Dillon, on Instagram and Twitter. Please leave the podcast a 5-star review. A positive review and a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Of course, it's available on Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Tim Dillon Show, not my personal dumb channel with nothing on it. Go to The Tim Dillon Show YouTube channel, subscribe. Videos coming in the new year when Ben gets his fucking lazy act together.
Oh, and subscribe to the YouTube Clips channel.
You subscribe to YouTube Clips channel, which is what? Tim Dillon Clips?
Yeah.
Tim Dillon Show Clips or Tim Dillon Clips?
Yeah, let me see.
So we got to spell it out for these people. We got to force feed them like children, like little baby. I'm so beat right now. I just want to go to bed, but I have to go to Cap City and put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, Tim Dillon Show Clips.
Tim Dillon Show Clips. Subscribe to the Clips channel, the YouTube channel. Me, Nick Mullen, Luis Gomez will be doing something. We hopefully, the main room of the Comedy Store, a live podcast and a stand-up show. Let's see if that comes to fruition. It would be really great if it does. Let's see. Ben Avery, you have anything to say?
Of course, go to patreon.com/The Tim Dillon Show.
Great.
145 archives there. A lot of great episodes. And we have like 25 bonus episodes now. So.
Yeah, and if you're having a problem with the Patreon app, you're functionally retarded. It's a bad app. Tell them what to do, Ben.
You're supposed to link the RSS feed to your podcast player of choice. You're not supposed to use the app unless you want to engage with people. Do not use it to listen to the show. Or you can use it on your desktop. It works fine, and you can download it that way. But link the custom RSS feed. I have it in the info on the Patreon page. And when you sign up, it emails you the link. So I don't know what you guys are doing. Stop
From
yelling
Ben
at
Avery.
me.
Yeah, stop yelling at him. Yell at him for other reasons, like where's the studio, you know? Yell at him for that. Yell at him for no video. Yeah, yell at him for that. From Ben Avery, myself, and all of us at InfoWars, there is a war on for your mind. And from our prison planet to yours, have a good day.